San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego, and happy Monday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local, each and every day from 10 to 2, alongside Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. As mentioned before, we will have you until 2 o'clock today, talking lots of Padres baseball, a lot of NFL talk from over the weekend. We got a lot of college football talk to get to. And we got to talk, of course, about your San Diego Padres. They take 2 out of 3 for the Colorado Rockies. And a lot to digest from this weekend, in which, again, here we go. I was already getting DMs on whatever day it was. I think it was Friday. Friday, I'm coaching high school football. Okay? We're playing Chandler. They're the number 4 team in the state of Arizona. Did pretty well. Ended up winning 24-23. And we'll talk more high school football later on in the show. Frank was at a high school football game on Friday as well. So we'll talk about our experience at some high school football games on Friday, which was, again, a fun time. I highly encourage you guys to go out there and do that on Friday nights when the Padres are not in town. And the Padres are not in town. And so on Friday night, as I was up on the booth, because I am in the booth for the Dons for coaching purposes, my phone is blowing up from a lot of people, friends, listeners, through the DMs about the Padres getting shut out by the Rockies 3-0. And I had one gentleman DM me, and he goes, "You said if they get swept by the Rockies, that's the time to have a legitimate concern and time to panic, right?" I didn't respond, but basically, yes, that's exactly what I said on Friday. He was like, "Just checking. I'm going to follow back later this week." He didn't follow back at all. The Padres took 2 out of 3. Okay? They did what they needed to do. You got to take 2 out of 3 on the road. As we've mentioned on this show multiple times, guaranteeing sweeps is not fun, nor is it good, nor is it fair. And we like to be fair on the Padres, don't we? Oh, we like to be fair. So, San Diego ends up taking 2 out of 3 from Colorado. You would like to see a sweep. Don't expect it. But overall, they did what they needed to do. They needed to do the exact same thing this week against Cincinnati. On the contrary, and this is what I mentioned last week. I don't remember what day it was. It could have been Friday. It could have been Thursday. It could have been Wednesday. It could have been all 3 of those days. I remember specifically saying, now is not the time to jump off the bandwagon because the Padres have gone through a little bit of a tough stretch against bad American League teams. I remember saying that, Frank. I remember saying that, I think, multiple times. I think I said that multiple times. People were like, they're cooked. That was the term that the gentleman used in the DM. They're cooked, right? If they get swept by the Rockies. It's almost like some people are rooting for it. Oh, they're cooked. They're not cooked. They got some injuries. They got some questions with starting pitching. Obviously, not having Xander Bogaerts at shortstop has moved things around. We saw Jake Cronenworth play shortstop. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I guess it's okay for him to play shortstop. It's not hard to ask him to play shortstop. He hasn't done it in a long time. As opposed to the guy that plays center field that did it not too long ago. Oh, I guess Jake Cronenworth played shortstop in the big leagues a couple of times. We'll talk about that later. I still think Jackson Merrill would be a better athletic shortstop than Jake Cronenworth. But I'm glad they made a move. I'm glad they finally made a move of some kind to mix things up yesterday. And we'll talk about the good of this weekend as well. Okay, but this is what I wanted to get back to. I want to get back to the fact that every team in baseball right now, aside from probably the Brewers, their fan base is freaking out thinking they're cooked. Literally every fan base. I don't even want to open up the can of worms that's asking Frank about what the New York Mets think right now. But you know the New York Mets fans are freaking out right now. They are. You look at the other teams. The Padres able to catch up a couple of games with the Cubs. That means the Cubs haven't played very well over the weekend. We talked about them benching Pete Crow Armstrong last week. So you look at other teams in baseball, especially in the National League, and I don't give a rat's ass about the American League. I don't care. You don't have to worry about the American League until Halloween. If you really care about if you really think the Padres get that far, I couldn't care less about the American League. But you look at the National League, and you look at the National League standings, and you look at some of these teams, you look at their fan bases, and I haven't even got to the funniest thing that's happened all weekend. Start looking at it. Chicago Cubs have a 5-game lead on the New York Mets for that top spot in the wild card. They've lost 2 in a row. They've won 5 of the last 10. Not playing that great. Kyle Tucker hasn't played that great. Pete Crow Armstrong hasn't played that great. They're freaking out in Chicago. The Cubs are cooked. They're not going to catch the Brewers. Oh, my God. It's almost like everybody's turned into Frank the Tank from Barstool. We know how much Frank Marchese loves that guy. I mean, he could do a bit for every single team. He could literally, if that guy put on Cubs gear and just did the exact same rant he does for the Mets, all Cubs fans were like, yeah, this guy's speaking the truth. I'd be freaking out right now. Philadelphia, freaking out about their starting pitching after losing Wheeler and seeing Nola go out there and pitch. The New York Mets, 4-game lead on the Reds and the Giants. But they, again, continue to not make up any ground. In fact, they lost ground on the Padres, which is great for the Padres. Padres had a 1-game lead on the Mets. It felt like for 2 weeks. Yeah, now it's up to 2 games. So you look at all the other teams in the National League, they all think they're cooked. Giants, despite being on this big hot streak, have now lost 2 in a row, but they're 4 games behind the Mets, and they're 6 games behind the Padres. We could play that game when we come back. I mean, the Padres have 19 games left. If you want to gradually try to catch a team, you have to talk about series. Otherwise, you're asking teams to sweep or get swept. And that's a slippery slope to try to really hold all your cards in. But let's talk about the team that probably has their fans freaking out the most, and that is the LA Dodgers. That is a team that's definitely freaking out. That is a team that is trending in the wrong direction. That is a team that is continually finding new ways to lose since the All-Star break. That is a team that is also, like the Padres, 3-7 in their last 10 games. They went to Baltimore, and they lost 2 out of 3. They had, on Saturday, a no-hitter with 2 outs in the 9th inning. Yamamoto was throwing a no-hitter against Baltimore with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And Jackson Holliday hits a solo shot. Makes it 3-1. Okay, well, you know what? No-hitter's gone. That stinks. Shutout's gone. Let's take Yamamoto out. Let's get it to the bullpen. And then the bullpen for the LA Dodgers coughs it up. They had 2 outs and 2 strikes on Jackson Holliday before he left the building. Orioles come back. They hang 3 more runs on the Dodgers with 2 outs in the 9th, and they win the ball game. I mean, for everybody, and I'm not worried about all the other teams. You got to worry about the Padres. I'm telling you right now, every team is feeling this way. Every fan base is feeling this way. Our message on this show is to take a deep breath and relax. Because this Padres team, despite all their problems, are still right in the thick of things with everybody else that they have to compete with. And this is a year where there is no real dominant team in Major League Baseball. There's not one team that is completely dominant over everybody else. If you want to say it might be the Brewers, I'm still not super concerned about Milwaukee. But with 19 games left, And I know, and here's the thing. Everybody wants to, we talked about this on Wednesday at the ballpark, because everybody was freaking out about the Padres' performance and how the season is coming. It's 2021 all over again. No, it's not. Stop it. There's 19 games left of the season. I'd have to go through and count how many series there are left, but there can't be more than like 6 or 7. This team is going to be in the playoffs. This team is right there for a division championship. They're 1 game out with 19 to go. They have to outdo the Dodgers by a game. They are right there. And the Dodgers continually find new ways to lose. It's going to be a fun stretch. It's going to be a fun little run. And the best part about this is the Padres trying to win a division is not going to affect them being in the playoffs. See, that's where it's stressful. You're competing for a division, but like you're not going to be a wild card team. The Padres are going to be a wild card team. Do I have to pull up the math again? Everybody wanted to like crush the math last week, and I was like, okay, just the math. Padres' magic number to clinch a playoff spot is 14. They, as of right now, have a 99% chance, according to playoffstatus.com, of making the playoffs. 99%. The Reds, who are the best team available, who you're about to play this week, you could put the nail in the Reds' coffin this week and not even have to worry about making the playoffs or not if you take 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati. The Reds right now have a just over a 6% chance of making the postseason. A 6% chance. The Padres have a 99% chance of making the postseason. And they would still need the Mets to pass them and then the Reds to pass them in order for them to not make the playoffs. It's literally just the numbers. That is the best place to be right now. You have 19 games left. The Padres, to feel really comfortable about making the playoffs, like better than 50% chance odds, have to win 6 of their next 19 games, and you will feel comfortable with them making the playoffs. They'd finished 84-78. If they go 6-13, they will make the playoffs. So that has been the message on this show since August. They were not going to win every game the rest of the way out. They were going to go through another hard stretch. But I'm telling you right now, they're going to make the playoffs. And again, you could focus on the Dodgers for the division. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're going to talk about the remaining schedule when we come back. We keep talking about the games that matter, but there are a handful of series left. There are 19 games left. We're going to show you how the Padres, what they have to do in order to win the division when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Braden Surprenant Show live and locally every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Padres took 2 out of 3 from the Colorado Rockies over the weekend. Get ready to take on the Cincinnati Reds for 3 days here at Petco Park. 6:40 game tonight, 6:40 game tomorrow, and a 5:40 start on Wednesday. Reds obviously don't have to travel very far, or they have an off day. So only they have a 5:40 start on Wednesday, so not the typical day game. So we will not be out at Petco Park this week, Frank. And then next week, we got a couple of earlier games, 4:10s against the New York Mets, and then a 10:10 on Thursday the 18th. I get to go to jury duty. That's fun. And then you got more 6:40. We only have one more day game, one more weekly day game for the Padres. How about that?
Yeah, we have one preemption. That's the last homestand, the last game against Milwaukee, and then we're off next Thursday because they're in New York taking on the Mets.
That is correct. Which means no round table next Thursday, right? Or are they doing it earlier?
I don't know. Well, no, because pregame starts at 9. So yeah,
That's right.
Can't imagine. I can't
8
imagine.
a.m. 8 a.m. round table. That would be the only time the boys in the morning would be down to do the round table. Day like that. Do you think Gwen and Chris would come in for that? 8 a.m.
No.
round table?
No.
Nothing like you know what? I don't think round table's open
shot.
that early. We'd have to get the pizza for the night before and throw it in the fridge.
Yeah, that'll go over well.
That'd be great. That'd be great. I like Go Aztecs in the chat. Jury duty excuse. I need to be excused to talk down Padre fans. Yeah. I had to move it already. I had to move it like twice to try to get it to a day that we have an off day. Or, you and I are not doing the show. And that was the last day they could do that. So I will be downtown on that day. It'll be fun. All right. Here's how it lays out for the Padres. All right. You ready for this? This is how it lays out. The Padres have 6 series left. They got Cincinnati for 3, and they have 19 games. 19 games, 6 series. They are trying to catch the Cubs and catch the Dodgers. I think that's the main goal right now. It would be nice if you win the division to have a first-round bye. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be able to do that. If you look at the league standings, the Padres are 5 games behind Philadelphia, who would have the 2 seeds. So, as of right now, you either are playing for the 3 seed or the 4 seed. That's basically where your best percentage chances are for the San Diego Padres. I don't necessarily know which one is technically that much better. If you play for the 3 seed, you get to host, and you're going to be playing the Mets, essentially. Right? You'll play the Mets, and then the 3 plays the 2, so then you'd play the Phillies on the road, and then you would take on the Brewers, potentially, if chalk played out in the National League Championship Series. Now, and this is, I'm laying this out before we talk about the final 6 series and the final 19 games. I mean, honestly, with 19 games left, Frank, it's time to start thinking about what path you might want. From a fan perspective, you can talk about it. From a player's perspective, you just want to get in. It doesn't really matter. You have to beat good teams to win a World Series. But from the fan perspective, it's nice to kind of like, okay, what path would be the least resistance? Try to make it as easy for the Padres as possible. Okay, so let's say they win the division, get the 3 seed. That means, theoretically, do we think the Dodgers are getting the 5 or do you think they're getting the 4? I mean, if we just got to go with, let's just say they don't catch the Cubs.
If the Padres don't catch the Cubs, then the Dodgers
so
they're going
catch
to get
the
the
Cubs.
5.
Right, so they would get the 5. Let's just make it simple and just say you're just flipping those teams.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Padres get the 3 seed, they would host the Mets for a best of 3 here at Petco Park. The Cubs would host the Dodgers for a best of 3 in Chicago. The winner of Cubs and Dodgers would take on the Brewers in Milwaukee, and the winner of Padres Mets would take on the Phillies in Philadelphia for a best of 5. Now, those series go back and forth, and you have an extra day at that point in time. What do you think about option A? You get the Phillies in the second round.
No.
I'd rather
Don't
play
wanna
the
touch-
Brewers in the second round.
Yes.
So then you go with the other play, right? Padres catch the Cubs, but don't win the division, and they're 3 games back from Chicago.
Mhm.
They host the Cubs in a best of 3. And then the winner of that would go to Milwaukee and take on the Brewers for a best of 5. Dodgers as the 3 seed would host the New York Mets. The winner of that would go to Philly for a best of 5. Worst case scenario, I think. Not really worst case, but as of right now, if things just stayed chalk, you'd be playing in Chicago for 3, and then you would be going to Milwaukee for 5. Is it honestly better to not win the division? In terms of playoff, like,
It's the easier road
it's an
for
easier
sure.
path if you think that playing in Milwaukee is going to be more obtainable than playing in Philadelphia. I hate the Padres matchup against Philly. I hate it.
But you also
They don't
gotta
match up well against Philadelphia, but the starting pitching's a little bit banged up now for Philly.
and you also have to think that Philly has not done well in the postseason with that first round bye, with that wild card round bye. They always come out slow. They always come out sluggish. They always fall behind. So, I mean, you could also make that argument as well for trying to win the division, is that you could get the Phillies, you can catch the Phillies napping and probably get out ahead. And then maybe all you have to do is genuinely try to win a game, maybe 2, because you're most likely going to get that first one.
Well, that's the other thing too, is as you mentioned, the whole like having a bye thing. Because when you play on the road in a playoff series, if you win, you get 2 games on the road to start. You win one of those games, you get home field now.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have home field advantage. Because you're expected to lose the games on the road and win the games at home. So if you go to Philly and split in Philadelphia in the divisional round, you now have home field advantage at Petco Park.
Yeah.
I honestly, it might be better to the best play for the Padres right now is kind of the 4 seed. Because the Padres can realistically still get the 3. They can realistically still get the 4. They could realistically get the 5. That's what they are right now. And they can obviously still get the 6 because they only have a 2-game lead on the New York Mets. But they have the tiebreaker on the Mets, so it's really 2.5. They could get a 3, 4, 5, or 6. If the Phillies just absolutely collapse, they could get the 2. But they're 5 games back in Philadelphia.
And as they just showed on the screen right now, the Mets are playing the Phillies for 4 right now in Philadelphia. The Phillies are only 2-7 against the Mets this season.
How many games back are the Mets? 7?
Not enough. Yeah, they're not enough to win the division. But if the Phillies were to, what I was saying was, if the Phillies were to collapse, it's going to start most likely tonight, playing a team that they have not played well against.
I guess that would lead it up. You got to take care of business against the Reds, obviously. But if I look at the paths that were taken, I think the 4 seed's the best. You get to host the Cubs, which you took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs here. Padres lost 2 out of 3 to the Cubs up there. But that was also a drastically different team. Like Martin Maldonado hit a home run in one of those games.
Yeah.
He was like the only run scored in one of those games. Kyle Hart started one of the games and gave up 8 runs like the first inning. That was so long ago. I was calling baseball games for USD at UCLA in the regular season. That's how long ago that was. I was in LA in Westwood. Jackie Robinson Stadium's not really in Westwood, but it was at Jackie Robinson Stadium calling games for USD against UCLA that same weekend. I remember when Maldonado hit the home run because I was listening to Jesse on the way up and I stopped off to get Starbucks.
That was it.
In Long Beach.
That was in April, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was April.
I wasn't even on the show then.
Think about how long ago that was. Frank wasn't even on the show. That's how long ago that was. Anyway, path-wise, I like the 4 seed. I'll explain a little bit more, but also here's how things lay out for the Padres in terms of their series. We'll talk about that when we come back. And yes, we will talk about the weekend. And the Padres finally making some changes that they needed to make. We'll talk about it when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show live and local each every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. And by the way, not only we're on YouTube, and we appreciate all of you guys on YouTube watching us, commenting, sending us some gear. Jocelyn's going to send us some gear. I think I know what it is. Did you put your size on the chat?
Oh no, I didn't. I didn't
Come on,
see that.
Jocelyn's got to send you a shirt.
Okay,
she
calm
said we
down,
better.
relax.
She said we better rep what we sent. She said.
I'm fine with that.
I think I might know what it is. But of course, represent. If you haven't done so already, give us a like on this YouTube video. It really helps us out. It takes you 2 seconds to do. Super easy. And a couple other things, little housekeeping things. We've got a lot of you on YouTube today. If this is your first time watching us, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we can be a part of your mornings and afternoons every single day. You can subscribe to 97 Through the Fan on YouTube. It's super easy. There's a little button underneath the video. And I'm going to unsubscribe for a second just to show what it looks like. There's a black button that says subscribe on it. It's right next to 97.3 The Fan. There's going to have the little logo, and then it's going to have 97.3 The Fan. It says 8.38 thousand subscribers. There's a big button next to it that says subscribe. Click it. Click it. Tap it on your phone. Now, when you go to YouTube, you don't have to go find us. You don't have to search. And I know you guys search because we get the metrics. A lot of you guys browse to find the shows. It makes it so much easier. It makes it so much easier. It's just right there on your YouTube app. It's right there when you log on. You could just see subscriptions. Bang. And guess what? It doesn't cost you anything. That's the best part. There's so many things that cost way too much money. Subscribing to our channel to get it easier access for you is free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Plus, you can subscribe to the Braden Surprenant Show page. Now, it is a bye week for the Dons, which means I might have more time to actually put videos up that I need to put up, that I've been waiting for like 3 months to put up, that I can finally put up. You can subscribe to and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers from my personal page that we also broadcast on. There are 16 great people that are on the Braden Surprenant Show page right now watching. 17. They're also commenting. And we see all the comments, regardless if you are on the 97 through the page or you're one of the OGs like Prolific on the Braden Surprenant Show page, which, by the way, Prolific, Titans fan, the Flaming Thumbtacks. I get to watch them on Sunday. I will be at the Titans game on Sunday as they take on the Los Angeles Rams. Flaming thumbtacks is what I was told that they look like. I think that's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Because they have like the flames next to the titan. You know what I'm saying? The flaming thumbtacks. Insane. Anyway, you can follow us on YouTube on the Braden Surprenant Show page. I've even made it easier for everybody that's watching on 97 Through the Fan right now. If you go into the description below, you can click the top link, youtube.com/@B_SURP. Click it. It will take you to the page. You will see the big black button that says subscribe. Click that. It helps us out. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're trying our best to get there. We hope you can help us out. And here's the thing. This is what started it all. I'm going to give a shout out to Old Navy Guy 66 in the chat. He talked about the lineup stuff. We're going to get to that in a little bit. He mentioned that Mike was on Ben and Woods and the manager report, all that stuff. Old Navy Guy 66, I can tell you right now, we talked about that a lot on Friday. In fact, we were very passionate about said topic of discussion. I think you would love to go back and listen to it, which you can in podcast form, wherever you get your podcasts. Spotify, Apple Music, the Odyssey app. If you don't have the Odyssey app, you should download it to your phone. It makes it a lot easier to listen to us. As much as we love you guys watching our beautiful faces every single day on YouTube, it's kind of distracting while you're driving. But if you have the Odyssey app, it's easy. Odyssey app, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever it may be. You can like, subscribe, favorite us on that. Also free, and you can listen to us in podcast form each and every day. So, Old Navy Guy 66 in the chat. I recommend you do that. Go back and listen to what we had to say about some of these topics. It was all good stuff. All right. I think we did enough housekeeping.
Think so.
All of our social media accounts are also listed in the description on the YouTube page for both the Braden Surprenant Show and 97 Through the Fan. You can follow me at B_SURP on social media at BSURP. You can follow our boy Frank, FMarks324, on social media as well. That's Marks with a Z. We were both at high school football games on Friday. It was great. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let's talk about the Padres. All right. We laid out for you the different paths that the Padres might have to take in the postseason. And again, I think the 6 teams are solidified in the postseason in the National League. I don't think the Reds are catching anybody 4 games out. The Padres need to put the final nail in the Reds' coffin this week by taking 2 out of 3. They need to do that. Do not let Cincinnati get hot. Do not get them back in the race. Just eliminate them this week. Do a favor for the rest of the National League. Milwaukee's in, Philly's in, Dodgers are in, Cubs are in, Padres are in, Mets are probably in. I don't see the Mets. I'm not going to say it. It's just going to piss Frank off. But I don't see them not making the playoffs. That's the nicest way to say it.
Brother, nobody hates my team more than me.
That is also true.
You're not allowed to hate them, but I'm allowed to hate them all I want. And yeah, they'll be fine.
Okay. I don't think they're not making the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs. You have your 6 teams. You're competing for seeding. Do you want the 3? Do you want the 4? Do you want the 5? Do you want the 6? I don't think anybody wants the 6 seed. The 4 and the 5 is very intriguing. In fact, I think the 4 seed out of the 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is basically the only time, those are the only positions I think the Padres will be able to have in the postseason. 3, 4, 5, or 6. Out of all of them, I think the 4 seed is the best. Because as the 4 seed, you are hosting a playoff series for the wild card. You would be playing the Chicago Cubs, which is fine. Okay, I don't really want to play the Cubs, but you're going to have to play somebody good eventually. So you will have the Padres at 4, Cubs at 5. You take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs in order to advance, and then you would take on the 1 seed, which is the Brewers. I think the Padres match up better with Milwaukee than they do Philadelphia. We'll see. Milwaukee is coming here at the end of the month. I guess we get to see firsthand how good Milwaukee is. I think a lot of people want to see the Padres get the feather in the cap of winning the division, but the 4 seed is actually a better spot, in my opinion, than the 3 seed. And I think Frank agrees with me on that.
I do.
All right. So that's how it lays out in terms of like where the better path is. It's really catching the Cubs, which are 3 games behind Chicago. Now, you've split the season series with the Cubs. So now your tiebreaker is going to come down to your record in the division versus their record in their division. But in order to catch the Cubs, 3 games, you have to win 3 more series than the Cubs do. Padres have 6 series left. Okay? They got Cincinnati. They do have a 4-gamer in there, which really throws things through a little bit of a loop, but not too much. The Padres essentially have to win every series from here on out. There's no losing series from here on out if they want the 4 seed, if they want the 3 seed. You can lose a series or 2 and still make the playoffs, which we have established already that the Padres are probably in a playoff spot. They have a 99% chance of making the playoffs according to playoffstatus.com, and that's just involving math. So if the Padres win every series from here on out, take 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, take 3 out of 4 from Colorado. They could probably split with Colorado, but let's just make it easier and just say they take 3 out of 4. Take 2 out of 3 from the Mets on the road, take 2 out of 3 from Chicago, 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee, and 2 out of 3 from Arizona. That needs to be the goal. So that puts you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That means you go 13 and 6, right? In your next 19 games. Winning 13 of 19, that's 68% of your games, gets you to 91 wins and puts you in a really good position to whatever. Sweeps are bonuses. Sweeps are bonuses. So if you win every series from here on out, in order to catch the Cubs, they have to lose 3 series. If you want to pass them and not have to worry about tiebreakers, they have to lose 4 of their next 6 series. Here's who the Cubs are playing. They got Atlanta this week. That sounds like a series win. Then they got Tampa. Then they got Pittsburgh, Cincinnati for 4, New York Mets, and St. Louis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have 6 series too. They have to lose 4 of those series for you to pass them. Pick the 4. They're probably not losing the series to Pittsburgh, but I guess if I had to pick, it'd be Tampa, the Mets, the Reds, and the Cardinals. Like all 4 of those, the Cubs have to lose all 4 of those series for you to pass them. If you are taking 2 out of 3 from everything, again, sweeps are bonuses. When talking from that perspective, it seems very difficult, Frank, to catch Chicago, and you're just 3 games out. This is how you gradually catch teams in baseball. This is why it's so important to be within 2 to 3 games of a team that you're trying to run down, because in baseball, you see like 3 or 4 games with 19 left. Oh, wow, that's like easy. So they're not going to take a lot. It's like the NFL. We're like 3 games back with 3 to play. You're still relatively in contention, and we've seen teams do that in the past. But that's what the Cubs would have to do. If you want to catch LA, this is what's more important, I think, to a lot of Padres fans, is catching the Los Angeles Dodgers for the division because of the feather in the cap. They haven't done it in a long time. Again, this is what the Padres have to do it. They have to win every series from here on out. Otherwise, you're relying on teams getting swept, or you're relying on the Padres sweeping teams. Basically, you have to go 13-6 if you want to gain ground on teams that you're trying to find. Now, with the Dodgers winning the season series, they are technically 2 games above San Diego. So the Padres have to outdo the Dodgers by 2 series. In order to do that, again, in the next 6, the Padres have to win out in terms of their series, go 13-6. And the Dodgers have to lose 2 of their series. They got Colorado, which they're not going to lose that series. But if they do, that'd be great. And you better hope, again, now, this is all assuming that the Dodgers don't sweep anybody or the Padres don't get swept. That's also part of the cards. Dodgers are probably going to take 2 out of 3 from Colorado. If they sweep Colorado, now you're even more in a jam because you're going to lose a game. And now you're 3 games back. And then you would need them to lose 3 of their next 5 series. They would have to lose the series of the Giants. Then they got Philly. Then they got the Giants again. They got Arizona. They got Seattle. If the Padres win their next 6 series, the Dodgers need to lose 2 series and you win the division. They can lose the series to Philly. They can lose the series to Seattle the final week of the year. You would be the division champion. That is in the most basic terms possible. I can explain how the Padres can catch LA. Because it's not like if you go day by day, it's just too difficult to do, because then you start playing the game of how come we always win when they win, or how come like every time they lose, we lose, and it's about series. The Padres gained a game over the weekend because the Dodgers lost the series and the Padres won the series. That's how you have to view it. They have to, and this is assuming, and then every single time the Padres lose a series that the Dodgers win, now you got to add another series on there that they have to lose. I mean, this is why it's difficult to catch teams that have some of these leads. Now, thinking about that, knowing that the Reds they're 4 games behind the Mets, the Reds have to outdo the Mets by 4 series. I mean, so that means if they're winning every series, if they win the next 6 series, the Reds do, the Mets have to drop 4 series for the Reds to pass them. So that's how it lays out. I still think the best case scenario for the Padres is catching the Cubs for the 4 seed. I think it plays out a little bit better than the Padres being the 3 seed and winning the division in terms of like best path through the playoffs. But to me, like, would you rather have the best path through the playoffs to win a World Series? Or would you rather win the division and have a more difficult path to the World Series? I think that's an interesting question. Some of me goes, I'd rather just win the division because it's a nice showing of how you did throughout the entire season. And it showed who the best team was at the end of the year. And you know that when you get to postseason play, you have to run. You're going to run into good teams. You're going to have to outdo good teams in the postseason. I don't know how they think the Giants have a good chance. I mean, they're 4 games out too. They lost again the other day. I mean, if the Giants have a good chance, that means the Diamondbacks have a good chance too. You look at the Giants. Okay, Giants are the same thing. Somebody asked that. Go Aztecs asked that in the chat because they said MLB Network still think. The thing with MLB Network, they're trying to get everybody involved. Giants are 4 games back from the Mets. If the Giants want to make the playoffs, they're going to have to outdo the Mets by 4 series, which means they'd have to win every series from here on out, which is 2 series against Arizona, 2 series against the Dodgers, a series against the Cardinals, and a series against the Rockies. They have to do all of that. The Mets would then have to lose 4 series in order for the Giants to make it. And that's assuming the Reds don't do the same thing. I mean, this is how difficult it is to gain games in the standings. I say this all the time in baseball. I used to not understand this. 4 games back, look, they're in striking distance. They're really not. So the Giants would have to win all of those series I mentioned, and then the Mets would have to lose 4 of these series. Philly, Texas, San Diego, Washington, Chicago, Miami. It's possible, but it's very difficult. And just remember, as Go Aztec said, the Giants won the deadline. Don't ever forget that, Frank. The Giants won the 2025 trade deadline. All right. So that's how everything lays out in terms of what you need to watch for. If you're somebody that wants to see the Padres win the division, they have to win, to make it in simplest terms. They have to win every series from here on out. Okay? And that's not sweeping anybody. This is assuming you don't sweep anybody. So that's taking 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, 3 out of 4 from the Rockies, 2 out of 3 from the Mets, 2 out of 3 from Chicago. That's going 13-6 in your next 19 games. Padres need to go 13-6 in their next 19 games. Dodgers need to lose 2 series. It would be better if they lost the series in the 4-gamer against San Francisco, obviously. But the Dodgers have to lose 2 of their next 6 series if the Padres win all 6. If the Padres go 5-1, the Dodgers have to lose 3 series out of their next 6. I mean, that's how you have to look at it, instead of just looking at every single day. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to Juan in Oceanside, wants to weigh in. Juan, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, Braden? Not much. Just had a good weekend, I guess, with football coming back and stuff. But I just wanted to talk about what you were talking about with postseason matchups. I kind of feel like the Padres would have a pretty good chance against the Phillies because, in my mind, it seems like the only 2 pitchers that we had problems with from the Phillies were Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler. And Zach Wheeler is injured. So as long as you can, bear the Christopher Sanchez start, he does have our number. He's a good pitcher. But I don't know. It just seems to me like the Padres would have a good chance against Philadelphia than any other team, especially the Dodgers, because they're probably the only team in the postseason that has our number this year.
The good thing, Juan, about the postseason for the Padres, out of all of the scenarios I've laid out, what is the one common theme, Frank? Which I put you on the spot, and I don't know if you could read my mind.
No.
The Padres are on the opposite side of the Dodgers in the bracket.
Yes.
Because the Dodgers aren't getting a 1 or 2 seed. So that means the only way the Padres would play the Dodgers is in the NLCS. If the Dodgers can't catch Philadelphia, which I don't think they can, and we talked about that with the Padres not being able to catch Philadelphia, I think the 1 and 2 seed are locked in. The Phillies have a 4-game lead on the Dodgers. So again, as we mentioned before, the Dodgers have to win all their series from here on out, and then the Phillies would have to lose 4 of their last 6 series for the Dodgers to tie Philadelphia. I don't see that happening. So that means the Padres will not have to go through LA in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. That's almost a guarantee right now. And if I'm looking at teams that obviously I don't want to deal with, LA's one of them. And who knows if LA can make it through the gauntlet on their side of the bracket either. Padres have played the Dodgers in almost division series almost every year. Imagine Padres, Dodgers, NLCS with a trip to the World Series on the line. Oh, man. Petco Park will be rocking. We're 1 hour in the books. We'll talk more about how the Padres did over the weekend against the Rockies when we come back. 11 o'clock on the Braden Surprenant Show. We giving away tickets again? We got tickets to Wednesday's game?
We are giving away tickets. We're giving away tickets to the Padres Reds game, I believe, on Wednesday.
It says Wednesday.
Okay. But we're not doing it as part of the game. We have our monthly prize again.
All right. We will be giving away tickets to Wednesday's Padres Reds game. We're going to do that in the 1 o'clock hour. Stay tuned for the 1 o'clock hour. You could potentially win tickets to the Padres Reds game on Wednesday. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a free Dylan Cease no-hitter bobblehead. Details at Padres.com/giveaways. That's good news for Wednesday's game. Now, the good news for Tuesday's game, Frank, as we have somewhat breaking news.
According to Kevin Acee.
Yes. Who's the starting pitcher on Tuesday, Francis?
Sounds like it is going to be Michael King will be getting the start. Now, this will give him 4 starts to get ramped up for the playoffs, which, I mean, I guess they feel is a sufficient enough time, but it's still slated as TBD right now. I have not seen a roster move made official, but it does sound like that Michael King will be the TBD on Tuesday.
I'm assuming they're not going to make a roster move until Tuesday.
Until
when
tomorrow.
They absolutely need to.
Yep.
Do you have those cuts from Dennis Lin today?
I do have these cuts from Dennis Lin.
All right.
today.
So we had a couple of things from Dennis Lin on the morning show. What were there's 2 of them, right?
Yes, one on Michael King and then one on the shortstop situation.
All right. Well, and I do want to get into the shortstop conversation as well. So this is perfect. Let's start with the Michael King thing because we got Michael King news that he most likely, according to Kevin Acee, will start on Tuesday. That is being reported by Kevin Acee that Michael King should be starting on Tuesday. What did Dennis Lin from The Athletic say on the morning show about Michael King and the Padres?
Dennis, what are you hearing now on Michael King, the very latest? Do you believe he will start for the Padres on this homestand and possibly even tomorrow night against the Reds?
I think they don't have much choice but to hope that he will. Now it'll depend how he's woken up after, I think he had a bullpen yesterday, and he's had setbacks recently, right? So they don't want to get too far ahead of themselves, but looking at who's pitched for El Paso the last 3 days, it seems like they don't really have a lot of options down there either, even if those guys were rested, because, J.P. Sears has not been reliable since he came over at the trade deadline. Matt Waldron has pitched recently for El Paso. Obviously, he's not been much of an option this summer. And, yeah, you've got Nestor Cortez on the potentially, I guess you would maybe call it the Phantom IL. But
so I was just going to ask you, is that a
healthy.
Real injury? I mean, he has been hurt all year, or is that more of he hasn't been effective?
I saw his bicep tensing up, and that I'm sure it's a real.
Okay.
It did look very tense when you're giving up 4 home runs in about 15 minutes. You tend to tighten up a little bit. So I believe in the validity of it. Absolutely, Dennis.
Yeah. To be fair, that's kind of tongue in cheek on my part, but I should not assume that either. That maybe he's not hurt and they're just putting him on the Phantom IL. But yeah, either way, he's not an option right now, obviously. So they've either got to go, I guess, Michael King or a bullpen game, which I don't think they want to do to their bullpen. After losing Jason Adam and how much stress the bullpen has had to take on, even after, rosters expanded. So I think they're kind of hoping and praying that it's Michael King.
And it is going to be Michael King, according to Kevin Acee. And as Frank mentioned, it gives him roughly 4 opportunities here to get into game mode for the postseason. Now, there's a lot riding on Tuesday's start for Michael King. A lot riding on Tuesday's start for Michael King. Because honestly, as we've talked about a lot of the hope that the Padres have, or should I say Padres fans have in the playoffs for San Diego to make it through the playoffs, to make it to a World Series and potentially win their first World Series ever. A lot of that is riding on what the starting pitching situation is going to look like. And Nick Pivetta is going to be a starter in the postseason. But other than that, it's Michael King. Everybody's assuming Michael King is going to be back to full form. I mean, he's missed most of the season. So hopefully he's fresh. Hey, that means he's fresh. We'll see how he looks like on Tuesday. But I wouldn't freak out if he only goes like 3 innings on Tuesday. He's got 4 chances right now in the regular season to get up to speed, to be ready to go full go come playoff time. And a guy like Michael King, if he could get through the order twice, you got a bullpen that can shut things down. He's one of the cogs. The other one, and we've talked about this a lot, and we haven't seen it a lot out of Yu Darvish as of late. It's been very Jekyll and Hyde with him. He has shown a lot of bright spots. He has shown some spots where he looks cooked. I mean, that's very drastic window. But somebody needs to start game 3. And somebody needs to be your number 3 starter. Because in the divisional round, you don't need 4 guys anymore. You only need 3. You need a 3rd guy. If you need to go to a 4th, that's a bullpen day, in my opinion. That's opener day, in my opinion. You need a 3rd guy. And it's either going to be Dylan Cease, which I don't think a lot of Padres fans have any trust in right now in starting a playoff game, or it's going to be Yu Darvish. And we've talked about the importance of Yu Darvish for this team. If the Padres make it to the World Series, it is because Yu Darvish went out there and shoved in the postseason. There's a lot riding on him as well. This starting pitching, getting through the order once, maybe twice, is going to be the big deal. And people like to say like Joe Musgrove. No, he needs to start next year. Because he needs to be able to get up to speed before you can start using him in games. And unless he's coming back like next week to get a couple of rehab assignments in, I don't see him helping the Padres. It'd be nice, it'd be a good story, it'd be great. See the San Diego kid go out there and be an opener. I find it hard to believe. The other problem, the shortstop problem. And the thing about the shortstop problem I thought was interesting. Frank texted it to me yesterday. You had the details, right, Frank? Do you remember off the top of your head?
Well, I got it from Sam. I'm not going to take his credit away, even though he really annoyed me on Saturday night with that loss to Mississippi State.
We all participated last week in the college football picks. Most of them were spread related. I think we got most of the winners.
Yeah,
the spreads kind of screwed us a little bit. All right.
It was October 5th, 2022, I believe, was the last time Jake Cronenworth started at shortstop in the majors.
Okay.
And then it was September of 2023, which predictably would have been the last San Antonio Missions game that he played, that Jackson Merrill would have played shortstop. So take that for what it's worth.
So it's okay for Jake Cronenworth to play shortstop.
Yeah, it's fair.
But it's not fair for Jackson Merrill to play shortstop.
Who had played it a year sooner.
Right. I get the Major League Baseball thing. I get the Major League level thing to an extent. And I still think Jackson Merrill gives you your best chance at shortstop. But I'm glad they moved somebody there. Because I think Ben Higgins tweeted this out on Friday. Was it Friday or Mason McCoy just could not get a hit? And he wasn't playing great defense at shortstop either. And it's like, why are you wasting a roster spot in the starting lineup for this guy?
To be fair, nobody could get a hit on Friday night.
Still. You should be putting your best 9 bats out there. We are in agreement on that. I think at a Major League Baseball level, you should have your best 9 hitters in the lineup every single day. And then you find the best way that they can play defense for you in the field after the fact. But out of the 3 components of Major League Baseball, hitting, pitching, fielding, defense is last to me. Defense is the least important. Now, I'm not saying it's okay for the defense to be a zoo, but it needs to be the least important in terms of the priority of your roster. It's pitching, it's hitting, and then it's 50 feet of crap, and then it's defense. I don't want an all defensive team. I want an all slug team, all rake team, even if it was a bunch of Luis Arises putting the ball in play. I want more of that than anything else. So they mixed it up. They finally mixed it up. They decided to put Jake Cronenworth at shortstop. I thought that was a good idea. If it's not going to be Merrill, at least be Jake. I mean, those are like the top two on my list. We talked about that on Friday. I wouldn't mind either of those guys playing shortstop. I'm glad they decided to move one of them there. I still think Jackson's probably more athletic than Jake is. Jake did a hell of a job at shortstop. You don't lose any defense with him playing shortstop. He's fine. They're my 1 and 2 of potentially filling in at shortstop until Bogaerts comes back, if he does come back. But you need a backup plan just in case he doesn't when you get to the postseason. It can't be Iglesias, and it can't be Mason McCoy. You cannot go into a playoff game with Mason McCoy in the starting lineup and pretend to be serious. You can't. You cannot tell me you're serious about winning a World Series and put Mason McCoy at starting shortstop. That is like going into a playoff game and having Trenton Brooks be your DH. You are not serious. You can't be serious. So I'm glad they finally made some type of move. And I think hopefully this is the case. Now, here's the deal. We said this before. We said it about Jackson Merrill. Jake better be getting every start at shortstop for the next 19 games. You need to have somebody that is getting reps and ready for the postseason just in case Xander can't come back. So if they put Iglesias back at shortstop, or they start Mason McCoy again tonight, or do it for multiple nights in a series, I'm going to pull my hair out of my head. Jake Cronenworth, they made their decision. They like Cronenworth at shortstop. Fine by me. He needs to start at shortstop every single day for the next 19 days. And you got to have O'Hearn in the lineup, and you got to have Sheets in the lineup. It's time to get serious with the last 19 games. And here's the thing. I'm going to give Mike Schill credit. Last year, he did that. Same thing. About 20 games to go, Mike Schill did everything that was expected to be done. It was moving Jake Cronenworth down in the lineup. It was moving Jackson Merrill higher in the order, stuff that we've talked about ad nauseum for. He got it done. We'll see if they do it again today. We will hear what Dennis Lynn had to say about the shortstop position when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show rolls on. You can't count on much, but you can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game live every Sunday, all season long, starting at just $30 for your first year. That's like $250 a month. Visit ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started today. We'll talk more NFL later on in the show. Fun weekend in football this weekend. High school football, college football, NFL. It's great to have Red Zone back. That's what I did all day yesterday. It was so lovely. Sat outside in the shade, had the TV set up by the pool, just enjoying a Sunday. Anybody mind? It's great. I played softball yesterday. I forgot to sign up for my Sunday softball league, so now I'm just a sub on this team. Which, by the way, during the football season, Frank, is not terrible. Because the games are either at 8:15 in the morning or 10 in the morning or 10:30, whatever it is. I forget. I would much rather watch the NFL at 10 in the morning than go play softball.
100%.
100%. So I fill in for my team. Again, I forgot to sign up. It's fine. I could be a sub. This is great. This is actually great news. And so I'm playing yesterday. We're playing a brand new team in the Scripps Ranch Old Pros League, which is played on Sundays. Play over at Marshall Middle School, which is easy drive for me. And so we're playing, and it's a brand new team. And so it's one of those leagues, like they have like a net out there to protect the pitcher, and it's your own team pitches to you, and you get 3 pitches to get a hit, right? It's one of those leagues. It's a 3-pitch league. One guy on the other team, first time up, he's a lefty. I forgot what he did. I think he got a single or something like that. Second time up, he walks up to the dish on the right-handed side, and he just like kind of surveys the land. Gets in the left-handed batter's box. Takes a peek at third base. He drops down a bunt, which is, first of all, stupid. Second of all, embarrassing. Third of all, illegal. You can't bunt in men's softball. It's pitched underhand. He runs up, like he goes up, and he just bunts the outside pitch.
It's a swinging bunt.
He doesn't even swing. He's just he just.
Yeah, it's a swinging bunt.
Yeah, barely. He did not complete the swing. He drops down a bunt. Nobody even moves. He's sprinting to first. I'm just like, are we for real right now? So he drops down the bunt. Everybody goes like, hey. First of all, that's lame. I don't know why you would ever do that.
Second of all, we're old and not running after that.
I'm not running after that ball. I mean, the pitcher, it's not like the pitcher is on our team. The pitcher's on your team. It didn't even go past the pitcher. I couldn't believe, I was like, why are you bunting in men's softball? What's the point in even playing? So he bunts. And then he has the audacity to say like, oh, it was an outside pitch. I just kind of flicked my wrists at it. It's like, no, dude, just admit you bunted, all right? And let's move on. He goes up and he hits a single, and then somebody on our team's like, isn't that way more fun? Like, why wouldn't you want to swing? Later on in the game, I'm playing 5 in the 5-man, which is like the rover spot. And so...
Please tell me you bunted.
No, I'm not bunting. I'm playing defense.
Oh.
Why would I bunt men's softball? What a waste. I might as well stay home. I don't know why you would bunt in men's softball. It's pitched underhand. So I'm playing the 5, what's called the 5. People call it rover, but it's the 5 spot. And so I'm over the base, and the 5's always got the base at second place. Ground ball goes to third. I got second. Bunting guy is running from first. Get the ball, go to throw. He slides into my shins, like tries to blow me up for a double play, and I kind of lob it over. And I looked at him like, bro, what? I'm like, I'm not going to blow up my knee right now playing men's softball and I'm subbing. I'm like, why are you sliding into me right now? That's a massive foul. He should have been ejected, like Adam said, for the bunt. And then he tries to take me out at second base. And I'm like, bro, what is going on? I was cool, though. I didn't say anything. I was just like, okay.
What in the Chase Utley, Ruben Tejada are we doing right now?
Seriously. Guy playing second, our guy Ben, he was like, not Ben Hagan, my boy Ben on the team. He was like, that was kind of a bleep move. And I'm like, yeah, well, hey, guy didn't know any better. Hopefully he knows next time. I'm telling you right now, I'm not getting blown up at second base. It's not, because when I run into second, I get out of the way. You know what? We hit into a DP. It's just like the bunting and then the trying to take out the guy at second in Sunday softball is utterly ridiculous. We have softball tonight. I have 4 games tonight at the Poway Sportsplex.
Good luck with that.
I got a game at 6 and a game at 7 for co-ed, and then my brother's team has the playoffs at 8, and if we win, we play at 9. So we'll see how it goes.
So you're going to lose at 8, right?
No.
Oh.
That team usually wins at 8, plays a team at 9 that is not as good, and then we can't beat them ever. So
I was going to say, you're not pulling the South Park bit. Or it's like, hey, listen, we really want to go home. Here's every pitch we're going to throw when we're going to throw it.
Oh, I did that. We did that in Sunday softball 2 weeks ago. In the Sunday league, it was playoffs or something. I don't know. I don't take that league seriously. The Scripps Ranch Old Pros League is like, people take that league way too seriously. Way too seriously. I don't care about winning in that league. I'm there to play with my dad. I'm there to play with my brother, right? I don't drink during that league. They do. I'm there to have a good time. It's a laid back. It should be a laid back league. It's not. It's like the World Series for most of those guys. And so we're playing in the playoffs. We have half our team out because of one of our guys got in a motorcycle accident riding like racing bikes like on a track.
Good.
So he's old. He's like 50, right? So he's retired. So he blew out his shoulder. And then we had kids going back to school and whatever. Crum was out because of work. And, so we had like this skeleton squad with like a sub or two. We had a guy on our team that was a sub that they wouldn't let play, whose dad is the one that got in the injury because he was too good. Well, he's too good, so he can't play.
Oh,
so you could take this guy on this other team that's not as good. I'm like, this is a joke. This is a joke. This is terrible. The rules in this league don't make any sense. By the way, there's no umpires in this league. You call your own outs. It's just a circus.
I'm starting to realize our easiest way to the Eric Hosmer rejoin.
Yeah, just me talking about the Old Pros League on Sundays. It's just like, it's insane. One team, Frank, has like championship backpacks from like 2 years ago. Foul. That's a foul.
Dude.
He draws the foul.
That's insane.
You're one away.
So anyway, a couple of weeks ago, this is what happened. A couple of weeks ago, we're playing and like it's a double elimination for the playoffs, which is just, it's crazy. We have this skeleton squad. We end up winning the game. And so we won at 8, so we'd have to play at 10. And if we won that, we were in the championship. But the next week, we only had 5 guys that could play. And after winning the first game, we're like, okay, you know what? We're going to pull an OTL right now. Why don't you guys just go play the game for us? We don't want to play anymore. Like, we're done. We're good. I don't want to play at 10. I don't care. Okay. I don't want to play another game for a team that was like, that lost or whatever it was. Because even if we win the next game, which we weren't going to because the other team had their 10 best players and we had nobody, then we would have to show up the next week with 5 guys. It's like, what a waste of time. Hey, you guys just go play. So then what did they say? They went over like, oh, we beat them. Like, no, you didn't. No, we didn't forfeit. You just go ahead. Go ahead. Go play. Like, play for fun if you really want to play. And then the team that was waiting was like, well, we don't actually want to play. We'll just take the forfeit win from you guys and we're going to move on to the championship. That's a foul too. When you get asked to play for the team, you don't go, it's like, oh, so you forfeit. No, we don't forfeit. We don't want to play anymore. You guys can do what you want. If you want to go play a game, go play a game. I thought this was about playing and having fun. Apparently it's not. I have no idea who won the league, nor do I care. You can see why I don't mind being a sub in this league.
I wonder how many of those people have a quote unquote irrational fear of high school lockers. I genuinely, I'm starting to wonder.
Man, the bunting, the taking somebody out at second, the no umpires. By the way, if you're a certain age, you have to use like certain bats. So anybody under the age of 30 has to use a wood bat. If you're 30 to 40, you get this awful orange bat that's not very good. And then like anybody over 50 can use any bat they want, including senior bats, and they're loaded. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a crazy league, dude.
I can smell the league from here.
It's not too far. It's up the road. They're like, do you want to play in the Wednesday version of this?
No.
Absolutely not. No, I don't.
I'm
the
good.
Sunday is fine. I like playing at the Sportsplex. It's just better that way. We'll keep it like that. But our team won yesterday for what it's worth. And here's the other thing. It's a 9-inning games. It take forever. 9 innings. It's crazy. Bunting and slow pitch softball is crazy to me. All right. We got to talk about the shortstop situation for the Padres. I'm glad they made a move. What did Dennis Lynn have to say about it? He was on with Ben and Woods earlier today. We're going to talk about that and hear what he said when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show. 11:34 on a Monday morning. This hour on 97 through the Fan is brought to you by the Adams Avenue Street Fair, September 20th and 21st. San Diego Foundation presents the Adams Avenue Street Fair, September 20th and 21st. The free family-friendly festival in Normal Heights features 75 musical acts, carnival rides, beer gardens, festival foods, and 300 unique exhibitors. What day is it? September 20th and 21st. Be fun. Sounds like a good time. San Diego State Aztec football will host Cal on the 20th. They're announcing game times for a lot of the college football games on September 20th right now. TCU SMU gets a 9 a.m. Pacific time start. That's sick. Hate it. Hopefully they can win the Iron Skillet this year. Anyway, we'll talk Aztec football in the next hour. We'll talk NFL football in the next hour. We'll talk high school football in the next hour. We do want to talk about the shortstop situation for the Padres and what Dennis Lin had to say about it on the morning show today. But let's get out to the phone calls. Let's start with Clay in the South Bay. You're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Clay? We holding up after yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I'm holding up just fine. It was a great weekend in sports. I mean, Ohio State went out. Of course, they just stomped Grambling into the ground 70-0. And then, of course, Browns. I still feel Flacco's our best chance of winning the game. Had a missed field goal, a missed extra point. Threw an interception on the last pretty much drive. Other than that, I mean, 17-16 in the division. That's just a tough loss. We'll meet them again later in the year. But the Padres, I mean, the two wins that we got on Saturday and Sunday were great. But the shortstop play by McCoy had me yelling things at my television that I shouldn't be yelling. That's all I'm going to say about that. Other than that, I think it's a great day. Great day in sports. Hopefully we get a W against Cincinnati tonight. Other than that, boys, hope we have a great day.
Thank you, Clay. Appreciate the phone call as always. Hey, Julian Sand looked a lot better in game 2. They did in game 1. Get some games underneath his belt. Get some confidence going. That's why you play teams like Grambling. A lot better numbers for Julian Sand. So it's great. Thank goodness Ohio State found a way over Grambling, says Jake Waters in the YouTube chat, who is also a Michigan fan. I'm going to need Jake to call the week of the big game between Michigan and Ohio State. I'm going to need Jake and Clay to call in back-to-back. I'm going to need it. That is content I need. I need that content. I have to call something out too. I like playing in Scripture Ranch Old Pros for 2 reasons. 1, playing with my dad and my brother. And number 2, of course, because I only play on Team Lancia. That's it. If it wasn't for Team Lancia, I wouldn't even play in the league at all. I refuse to play for anybody else besides John Lancia and Team Lancia. That needed to be said, Frank. Needed to be said. Sushi Sam has joined us from Spain. I'm glad he has awakened after his long travel day yesterday. Sam and the boys went to Pullman for the San Diego State Washington State game, right?
Sorry.
Yeah, it sucks to be Sam in that particular case. Aztecs got embarrassed, I thought. They looked bad.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
We'll talk about that a little bit later, which has led to the Washington State fan of my group, our guy Matt. I mean, he acted like they won the Super Bowl this weekend, which was just like, dude, relax. If you're a power, hey, remember? The P in PAC stands for power. If you're a Power 4 team, you should be able to beat a team that went 3-9 last year at home. You shouldn't have to brag about it. You should be on the North Texas. But I digress on that. So after the Pullman trip, Sam flies he's already had his planned vacation in Spain. So we got a viewer in Spain right now, which is great. Shout out to Sam in Spain. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Brandon in Carlsbad, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Brandon?
What's up, fellas? Long time no talk. Sometimes I like to let things just simmer down a little bit, but you know what? Mr. Toxic Positivity is now just going to be toxic. I want more. I want more out of Manny. I want more out of Toddy. I want more out of Bogarts, and he's not in. And everyone else just to do their freaking job. I mean, you know what? We're coming down to the nails. What do we have, Braden? Hey, what's up, Frank? Smile. It's all good, big dog. But we got 19 games left or something like that. Like, we better win at least 65+% of these games. Like, This is no BS. I don't know. I'm just frustrated. I hope everyone else is. And I hope that fires people up on the other side of the street. So I want more out of our biggies. That's what I want. Okay? No more excuses. I'm tired of the freaking frustrations through injury. That's also, as you said before, Braden, that's baseball. But for me today, I want more. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want a pennant. Again, San Diego, we're sports fans here, man. We've already dealt with enough. Can we just get a pennant? That's all, guys. God bless America.
Thank you, Brandon. Go Aztecs. I don't know if I like this, Brandon. Did Brandon know we won 2 out of 3 of the weekend? I'm not going to be toxic positivity, Brandon. I'm just going to be toxic, Brandon. His phone calls kill me, dude. I love when Brandon calls into the show. It's great. What was I going to say about that? He's right on a lot of those things. Jacob in the chat. We need Brandon in the clubhouse. Yeah, we do. Gets us fired up. We already got the Michigan, Ohio State people chirping at each other in the chat, too, by the way, which is great. All right, let's talk about he mentioned Xander Bogaerts. He's obviously not going to be in for at least the remainder of the regular season. We'll see what happens if he can make a playoff start or not, which leads to a shortstop problem for the Padres. Did they find the solution to the shortstop problem on Sunday? Finally decided to mix things up to put Jake Cronenworth at shortstop. What did Dennis Lin have to say about Jake Cronenworth playing shortstop yesterday for the Padres? He was on with Ben and Woods earlier this morning. Here's what Dennis had to say.
Dennis, what are you hearing now on Michael King, the very latest? Do you believe?
I'm sure you heard the interview that we did with Schulte on Friday, and he asked, do you guys value defense? And we said absolutely. And I know he does, and I know what organization he came from and spent the majority of his life with, in the St. Louis Cardinals, and they very much value defense, Dennis. And you did see him go a little bit, probably even out of his comfort zone yesterday, starting Jake Cronenworth at shortstop. And look, it worked. But just because it worked once doesn't mean it will continue to work. Do you get that? That wasn't, and I'm not looking at this like, oh, Mike Schilt panicked. I don't think that at all. But I will give him credit for actually doing that yesterday and getting your better bats in the lineup. There is something there, right? There, you got to crawl before you can walk. And I think the results certainly bore out that it was the right decision.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree that defense is really important. It helps win championships and potentially divisions. But at this point, I think anyone who's looking at the team can see what they're getting out of their shortstops outside of Jake since Xander Bogaerts went down. It's a pretty easy trade-off in my mind. If you have, a softer matchup like that against a bad team, and you can kind of risk it now, I think tonight with Nick Lodolo, the lefty on the mound for the Reds, I think you might see Iglesias back out there at short. But frankly speaking, they just haven't gotten anything offensively out of their shortstops since Xander went down. So if you're not getting any offense, if you're going to give a little bit up on defense, I think that's a trade worth taking. And to Jake's credit, he really held down the fort at shortstop yesterday, and he's still getting on base and being productive at the plate. So I think that's a pretty easy call for a guy who has played on the dirt more recently, obviously, than Jackson Merrill, and was an option to come off the bench at some points, and has done that more recently at shortstop. But I think your question to Schulte about Jackson Merrill was completely fair, if you're asking for my opinion.
I think so too. We talked about that on Friday. It's a super fair question. I thought how we addressed a lot of the things on Friday from both the morning show and our show is also really fair. But if you're trying to win and you're trying to put out your best 9 guys to try to win a World Series, that involves not having Jose Iglesias play shortstop. That also involves not having Mason McCoy play shortstop. The kind of attitude of the whole, defense is important, right? I mean, come on, dude. And we talked about that on Friday. They have to find a solution at shortstop. I think they have found a solution through the end of the season in Jake Cronenworth. I think he gives you your best opportunity to win. I think what really gives you the best opportunity to win is have Jackson Merrill at shortstop. But at this point, if they've made the decision that they're going to go with Jake Cronenworth there, that's fine. He just needs to play there every single day. 19 games left, 6 series left. Jake Cronenworth needs to be starting at shortstop for at least 16 of those 19 games. Needs to. At the very least, he should have more than 50% of the starts at shortstop. He should. And we'll see what the lineup is tonight. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to, if Frank is ready, today's sports thread.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk.
All right, Frank, what do we got today in the sports world?
All righty. Today we're going to start off with
number 1.
We had so much on today's show that we just this is something we'd normally have as a normal topic, but we'll throw it in here. College football rankings are out today. Ohio State 57 first place votes. Sorry, they are number 1. Penn State, LSU, Oregon, Miami. Your top 5 going into what will be week 3 of the college football season. Florida State jumps from 14 to 10. Illinois gets into the top 10. South Carolina only goes down 1. They go down to 10. Oklahoma goes up from 18 to 13. Tennessee goes from 22 to 15. A couple of the non-ranked teams, South Florida with a big win Saturday, go from unranked up to 18th. Auburn and Missouri both ranked. Michigan, after losing to Oklahoma, fall from 15 to 23. Anything big that you see from the college football rankings? It seems a little out of whack.
I mean, overall, it's not the worst. But that being said, I find the poll. This is why I don't like the writers' polls. Okay. I don't think they watch the games. I don't think the writers watch the games. I mean, and this is what I love about and our guy Jake Waters is part of the college football Reddit group. I just like I love that they post everybody's ballot because it exposes people that don't watch football.
Mm-hmm.
I called out John Wilner like last week. He's got LSU as the number 1 team in the country. An LSU team that was struggling with who did they play? I don't even remember who they played. The Raging Cajuns?
I believe so.
But the Raging Cajuns. Their one win is on the road against Clemson, which is a good win. A team that struggled with Troy the next week.
We're losing at halftime. Troy.
There are so many teams better than LSU in college football right now.
And he has Florida State in the top 5.
But he's got LSU number 1, Ohio State 2, because apparently LSU beating Clemson is better than Ohio State beating Texas. He's got Miami as the number 3 team in the country, Florida State 4, Oregon 5. He's got the Cyclones of Iowa State as the 6th best team in the country. They snuck out a victory against Iowa. The 6th best team in the country. Like, what? Why do you have a vote? I don't get it. You're not watching these games. There's no way you're watching these games. And then they have Penn State.
Who, to be fair, their offense looked awful against Florida Worldwide. I mean, they were so bad.
Anybody that has Florida ranked should lose their vote. Florida looked bad against USF should be getting votes. I like that. I mean, I look at a ballot right here. They got Florida as high as 16. You look at other ballots, and they got schools that are ranked that have lost to schools that they don't have ranked. If you're voting for Baylor in your top 25 and you don't have Auburn in it, I can't help you. Like, you shouldn't have a vote. I'm looking at this guy from Florida. His ballot, he's got Baylor as the 25th best team in the country. Doesn't have Auburn ranked. Auburn went at Baylor and beat their ass. Like, I don't get it. I know Baylor just beat SMU, but I'm looking at these ballots and I go, there's no way they watch college football. There's just no way. This is why all of these like championships before they had a playoff are so dumb, because you have these writers that don't actually watch the games. And I don't think it's all of them. I'm not going to say all of them, but there's a lot of people that have votes that I know aren't watching games. And you could tell by the way they vote.
It's absolutely disgusting.
I'll rant more about that later. But it's just so frustrating to watch sometimes.
It is, 100%.
Number 2.
This is a coach you want to play for. Syracuse coach Fran Brown made his team stay on the field and run sprints following their 27-20 overtime win at home against UConn on Saturday. Post-game video shows the entire team running sprints rather than leaving the field when the game ended, with Brown in the middle in full director mode. Brown said during his post-game interview that he had made the decision to run his team extra because there were certain times in the game that the Orange were just not running. Brown said, quote, "Guys not running to get lined up, guys not running to the ball. I just want to celebrate the win with the people, but I am so pissed. I am mad as heck right now." That is a coach that I would want to play for, a guy who is trying to keep his team in line no matter what the situation is.
I don't mind it. I mean, I think sometimes it gets a little ridiculous. I think after losses, it's kind of odd, running the guys. But you know what? If they pissed you off that bad because the effort wasn't there, I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of bad effort from a lot of good teams in college football, and it's, good for him.
Yep, absolutely, 100%.
Number 3.
This is a story that we had brought up on Friday that you were kind of iffy about, but we got more clarification on it this week. The man with more Super Bowl wins than any other coach in NFL history now has his first college football win. Yay. Bill Belichick.
Who did they beat again? Charlotte or something?
Against number 330. Oh, wait a minute.
Who did they beat?
Oh, never mind. They beat Charlotte 20-3.
Good for them.
On Saturday night. That was just
good.
Context.
I hope they win the next 10 games.
Yeah, that was just context on that part. I'm trying to.
All right, so he's clarifying the whole banning the Patriots from the North Carolina facility.
Yes, he did say that there were questions about that. Oh, okay, here it is. Belichick confirmed the reports on Saturday, saying the decision was in response to a closed-door edict in New England. Belichick said, quote, "It's obvious I'm not welcome in their facility, so they're not welcome at ours. I remember you saying on Friday that this was a little, why would they do that? What was the context behind this?" Well, there's the context, and there is also the confirmation from Bill Belichick that the Patriots, out of nowhere, are locked out of their facilities.
Stupid.
Why?
This isn't about you, Bill. This is about your team. When you're coaching college, this is about your players. This is about getting your players ready for the next level. It's about making young men. I mean, it's about a lot of different things. It's not about you or your 24-year-old girlfriend.
And why?
It's not about you.
Why would Bill Belichick be allowed to just freely wander the Patriots facilities right now anyway?
They invite college coaches to come check out practice and
on
stuff
an
like
invitation.
that. But that's, like when you ask for it. Like, unless he asked to be there one time and they said no, or if it's some spat with the owner of the Patriots or something like that, it makes no sense to not allow them there. When I was working at TCU's office, we'd have NFL guys in our video lab almost every single day looking at tape of kids on the team. And they'd be doing it together. I remember there was a Commanders scout and a Bears scout both watching Kevontae Turpin. Now, they weren't watching him, but I remember they saw a highlight of Kevontae rip off a huge run against Texas. He was too young to be talked to by scouts. And the Bears scout's like, who is this? Video guy, freshman. All right, I'll be back in 2 years to talk to this kid. I mean, you want these guys in your office. We used to trade tape with the NFL. We'd trade games because they wanted to see how TCU ran certain things offensively, see different schemes, collaboration. It's great. To physically say, to flat out say one organization is not allowed to be in your facility is outright stupid.
Yep.
And it's costing your players in the long term. That's a selfish act. It's terrible.
Also, San Diego State college basketball schedule is out today. We'll get
Look
into
at that when we
a little
come
bit
back.
later on.
Yeah, I want to rant about these AP Top 25 poll, which stinks too. Noon lunchtime hour. When we come back, plus some football. Braden Surprenant Show. Machado Prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And happy noon lunchtime hour as presented by the Craft Taco. Both flavors at 2 locations, Sorrento Valley and inside Balboa Park's Natural History Museum. Is today a Craft Taco Day? Today might be a Craft Taco
feel
Day.
like a Craft Taco Day.
I might have to hit it up on the way up to practice. Bye week for the Dons. So we got a couple of, I got to go to meetings when they get after school. If I get out of here in enough time, I think I can hit up Craft Taco. Get a couple of tacos to go. Maybe I'll order them ahead. I think you can order ahead. And then bring them to my meetings. And then I'd be like, hey, this is the Craft Taco. You guys, it's down the street. It's not too far. Just go check it out. I might have to do that.
At least you're never beating the corporate shill allegations.
No.
We love our Craft Taco, though.
I love Craft Taco. I wouldn't say, I'm not stirring anybody wrong. When it comes to food, has anybody been stirred wrong by the Braden Surprenant Show?
No, and especially me being a picky eater,
Picky eater Frank likes Craft Taco.
If I'm suggesting it, it's good.
Have I ever stirred any of you guys wrong on food? I don't think so. I did have to tell that guy the rib recipe that I forgot. I got to go find that in my DMs because I have put it off. Anyway, 833-288-0997. By the way, my caller screen's gone, so you're going to have to tell me if we got any caller. It decided to reset itself, which is fun. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Great. It's great. Now I'm hungry for Craft Taco. No, still need to ask Craft Taco about the Craft Taco charcuterie board. I don't want to dive into that again. But I tell you what, my friend and her girlfriends this weekend, I tell you, they probably aren't going to have 50,000 bags of tortilla chips like some of us have right now.
You didn't bring me any, which is thank you for that.
The tortilla chips?
Love you too. I still going to take a couple bags off your hands.
Oh, well, they're still sitting in my house. I'll bring them tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Which reminds me, I have to bring the beef tallow to one of our coaches. Did you bring some of the beef tallow home?
Yes, I did.
Did you use it yet?
I don't know. That would have been on my dad. I don't know yet.
You can cook like making eggs with the beef tallow. It's good. Good smoky flavor. It's good. It's a good fat to have. You can even use it as hair gel if you would like, Frank. You can use it for a lot of. It's good moisturizer. Beef tallow is great for a lot of stuff. Look up the health benefits of beef tallow, Frank. You think I'm nuts? I'm telling you, like you could use it for all of those things. If you typed into Google right now, what can I use beef tallow for? I bet you AI spits all that stuff out.
It's the hair gel part for me, the Italian guy. I don't slick my hair back anymore.
Well, you could.
Yeah, well, I don't.
It smells smoky. You'd smell like a barbecue pit. It'd be great.
That's what smelling shampoos are for.
I'm going to Nashville this weekend. My sister who lives there said, any food recommendation, like any food places we have to go to. And I was like, well, of course, Peg Leg Porker. That's some of the best ribs ever. I have tried to make their ribs. So my ribs that I made the other day are inspired by Peg Leg Porker dry rub ribs. That might be the place I have to go. I'm only there for 2 days. We're going to the Titans game on Sunday. College game day is Tennessee, Georgia. We've still been on the fence about potentially going to that too. But I leave Friday night after the show, get to Nashville like almost midnight, and then Saturday, we're probably going to watch the Vols play somewhere on Broadway. If not, it's only a 3-hour drive to Knoxville against Georgia Bulldogs. Never know. All right. Let's talk about, all right, you had some news on the Aztecs basketball schedule. It's going to lead us into Aztec football, which is
fun.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about. So today, Sean Lewis and Brian Dutch are meeting with the media.
Yes.
We got that press release. Okay. And I saw the Dutch one. I'm like, well, there has to be some type of news for the basketball team. So they announced today their schedule. So Aztecs basketball non-conference schedule is complete now. And they have 3 opponents right now that are really, really good. And then they have a handful of opponents that they should be able to handle very easily. And then they have 1 to be determined based on the results of the players' tournament. That will probably add another big name to their non-conference schedule. But Frank, what do we got opponent-wise for Aztecs basketball?
So the season will start on October 17th. So we're a little bit more than a month away. 2 exhibition games against UCLA and then against what I would assume is USD, because it doesn't say UC San Diego. It just says San Diego.
Yeah, that is USD.
Season starts officially on November 4th. That'll be at home against Long Beach State. First 3 games are at home. It'll be Long Beach State, Idaho State, and Troy are the first 3 games. Then you get to the Players Era Championship in Las Vegas. That'll be Michigan, Oregon on the 24th and 25th of November with the TBD of the final. Then it's back home, Utah Valley, Lamar, and then Air Force. That Air Force game is the first Mountain West game of the year. That'll be on December 17th. Then it'll be December 20th in Phoenix against Arizona, against the Wildcats, a neutral site. Well, quote unquote, neutral site. Then you're back home against Whittier. So all of your non-conference games that are not tournament or classic games are at home. Then it is San Jose State to start off the official run of conference play. That'll be on December 30th versus Boise State, at Nevada, versus Fresno State, at Wyoming.
I think they got to play everybody home and home, right?
Yes.
They're still doing that?
Yes.
In the Mountain West. That's a big reason. Another big reason why they left to go to their own, to go to the pack. So I don't want to get too into like the conference play. You know who you're going to play. Finishing the season with UNLV at home, with the New Mexico at Boise State back-to-back to finish conference play. It's going to be very difficult for the Aztecs, but this Aztec team I think is good enough to make a big run in the NCAA tournament.
Yes.
They're going to have a really good year. Arizona in Phoenix is going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
That is a neutral site. It's not going to be a neutral site game because Arizona, first of all, travels very well. Arizona basketball is the basketball team for the entire state. Mm-hmm. They've always been a lot better than Arizona State. Arizona basketball is very there's so many Arizona alumni in San Diego. That's going to be a fun game. I want to go to that. What day of the week is that? Think we can do a show in Phoenix?
That would be amazing. It is December 20th. So that would be
Saturday. Even better.
Yeah, there you go.
It's an easy trip out there.
Show road trip to Phoenix.
I don't know. I am an Arizona Wildcat for a semester, but my mom went there. My ranking of like teams I root for, Arizona basketball is pretty up there, but Aztec basketball, I don't know. Wow, we've got like Brenton Ford's got a picture of Wilbur right there. He's ready to go. Bear down. I know the entire Bear Down fight song. Do I need to sing it right now? No, I do not, but I do know it. Playing Michigan, playing Oregon, and playing Arizona is great for the non-conference.
Yes.
Absolutely great. They're going to get another big-time team in the Players Era, whatever it's called.
The Players Era Championship.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
And then, every time I look up who's in it, it's just all studs. Every team is good. So you could be playing, so here's like the first, I would imagine a lot of Aztec fans travel to Vegas for this, but Rutgers and Tennessee are in it, Creighton and Baylor, Kansas and Notre Dame, St. John's and Iowa State. These are all the matchups, by the way. Houston and Syracuse, Auburn and Oregon, Gonzaga and Alabama, Michigan, San Diego State, UNLV and Maryland. The worst potential matchup for you in that doesn't help you is UNLV. And I bet they don't let UNLV play San Diego State in this tournament.
Probably.
Even if you played like Syracuse has been down in basketball, even if you played Syracuse, that's still a good non-conference opponent. They played Kansas. Great. Notre Dame. Great. Houston's legit. They
played them last year. They beat them last year. But them beating Houston last year got them in the NCAA tournament. You are going to play a really good basketball team for that. So you have 4 legit non-conference games. You're going to have 4 Power 4 opponents on your non-conference schedule. You are. It's a great job by San Diego State. Brian Dutcher, them being in that tournament, by the way, is great. That makes it a lot easier for them to find games. So you play in that one tournament, you get to play 3 Power 4 teams, most likely. It's in Vegas. It's not like you have to travel very far. They're all neutral site games. Helps your schedule out. And then you get to host all of these local games. You don't have to travel very far. You get all of these games at home with Utah Valley and Lamar and Idaho State, Long Beach State, Troy, Whittier. Be able to beat up on all those teams. And then you get to go to Arizona. Again, not a far trip. You don't have to go to the McHale Center. You play them at a neutral site in Phoenix. You're in a good, that's a great non-conference schedule. I love it. And on top of the fact that you get paid NIL money in this tournament. And it sounds like you're in this tournament. You're in this tournament. You're not getting kicked out. And if I'm San Diego State, I'm trying to be in this thing every single freaking year because of the NIL money. It's over the Thanksgiving holiday. It's going to be fun. Good for the Aztecs. You know what's not good for the Aztecs? What I saw on Saturday. I don't know what in the world that was, but that was an embarrassing level of football.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good at all. There was like nothing you can pull out of that game that is positive about. They took a big step forward in their first week game. They took 2 steps back on Saturday. We'll talk about that when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97 through the Fan. 12:17 on a Monday here on the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day. We got the press conference today for San Diego State Athletics?
I believe so.
Tomorrow?
I believe it's actually ongoing right now.
Should be going on right now. So we have Brian Dutcher talking today, as well as Sean Lewis. Let's talk about Saturday's game, shall we? I know Go Aztecs in the chat has been dreading us talking about the Aztecs football game on Saturday. I thought the Aztecs game on Saturday was embarrassing. I thought it was embarrassing. I thought the performance was embarrassing. I did like some of the fight at the end, but I did not understand a lot of what was going on for San Diego State in terms of their decision-making on a lot of different things. There was a couple of times late in the game decided to go for it on fourth down, which if they would have punted, probably would have set themselves up for better field position. I thought they got away from the run a little bit too earlier than they needed to. And I thought Denegal played a very poor game against a lousy Washington State team. That is a Washington State team that snuck out a victory against Idaho. And as Bernie Wilson pointed out, a Washington State team that is a below-funded FBS program with an FCS coach and FCS players. And you lose 36-13. Now, trash time score in the fourth quarter. Aztecs had an opportunity there. They blocked a field goal and took it to the house late and were called for offsides, which, by the way, I still, after every angle I've seen, I have yet to see any angle where the player that was offsides was actually offsides. It might have been, and then the announcer said the same thing on the CW, which from a broadcast perspective, I thought that was a very poor broadcast. But anyway.
They also had that funky issue with the punt in the first quarter, right before the touchdown drive.
Okay, so people want to know about the punt, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing on the punt. Here's the rules. I didn't get to watch it, but it was explained to me.
So what happened was Washington State punted it.
Yes.
And it looked like it bounced, it kicked away, and then Napier picked it up and dropped it, or tried to pick it up and dropped it.
Okay.
And Washington State recovered it in the end zone.
Right.
What actually happened was
it hit one of the Washington State guys,
it
right?
donked one of the Washington State players directly in the middle of the helmet.
Yeah.
And kicked away from Napier, who then picked it up, and then Washington State.
Napier made the heads-up play and made the right play. As I tell my punt returners, here's the rule. And I think a lot of you might have learned the rule for the first time on Saturday. Here's the rule. If the punting team touches the punt, past the line of scrimmage, but first, the returning team can pick up the ball and advance it with zero risk. Zero risk. So that's what happened in that particular play. My phone is blowing up. I'm doing the USD game, and it's like, I can't believe Napier should never return kicks, and what an idiot. And Napier did the smartest thing possible. As a punt returner, you want to get as close to the ball as possible whenever it's like rolling around and watch to see if it touches anybody on the punting team. As soon as it touches somebody on the punting team, pick it up, run. Every single time. And so every time, I hear this all the time. I hear it in the press box for media people. I hear it from other coaches. They go, oh, what is he doing? Get away, get away, get away. No. You want the returner there. You want him near the ball. You want to have him watch to see if it touches the punting team. If so, you pick it up and you run. If Napier picked that ball up, ran 99 yards, and fumbled at the 1-yard line, and Washington State recovered it, San Diego State, based on the first touch rule, can elect, we will take the ball where it was touched by Washington State. That is the rule. So I will defend Napier. I will defend Napier on that. That was a heads-up play for him. And that's the thing. There's no risk. So if he fumbles like it did, it's like, we'll take the ball where it was first touched. I did want to mention that. They score on their opening early on in the game to take 7-0 lead. The safety. I mean, you can't be taking a safety
No,
before
that was
halftime.
awful.
That was awful. And then you allowed them to score. You give up a safety with a minute to go in the half, and then you let them score before halftime, and then they score again early in the third quarter. I mean, I don't, and the other thing too, it's like, I was looking at the box score. I don't know why they're not feeding Lucky Sutton like way more than they did. He ends up getting 15 carries for 88 yards, but early on in the game, it was like, let's give it to Napier, let's give it to Brown, let's give it to, it's like you have this running back that was the best player in San Diego County a couple of years ago. You have a three-headed monster back there. I don't know why they got away from it so early in that game.
They just insisted the entire game on passing it, and Denegal was missing wide open shot after wide open shot after wide open shot. 15 for 30 at 133 yards. Denegal was not good.
Lucky is averaging 5.5 yards a carry. He was gashing them. They got away from it. Then they had a fourth down early in the before they had 3 or 4 fourth downs where they went for it. It's like 4th and 2. They air it out again. I mean, Denegal 15 for 30 for 133 is not going to cut. You are better off. Here's a couple of things. I've mentioned this before. It's been a problem for San Diego State. It's going to continue to be a problem with San Diego State. And here's the thing, and I've said this also, like the Aztecs need to have an exciting offense for people to give a rat's ass in this town. So I get what the game that they're trying to play. They have no weapons on offense in terms of receivers. They have nothing.
Yeah, and
they don't. Like Jacob Bostic, he's a good player. Jordan Napier, he's a good. They don't have any receivers. If you look at Denegal late in the game, that guy's running for his life because there is nothing open. And that was the case last year. They had nothing open all year long. And I don't care about, they could do as much scheme as they want to do. They don't have any receiver weapons. They got none. And in previous years where the Aztecs were good, they had a good running game and they had great tight ends. They at least had somebody for Denegal to throw to, or for their quarterback at the time to throw to. They don't have that. You have a three-headed monster at running back, and you got a backup quarterback that can run. That might have to be the offense for San Diego State moving forward after this debacle of a performance against Washington State.
Yeah, and that was the one play that I was really looking at, was the one I flashed on the screen that Go Aztecs pointed out. The 4th and 3, Denegal's rolling out to the near sideline. He has clear room to run. Like, he would have gotten at least 10. And he threw it. He threw it away. Not only did he threw it over his target, well out of bounds, when he could have just ran. Like, what do you do? What's the decision-making process there? Run and continue the drive, or I want to take a seat? He chose to take a seat, which is not something you want to see out of your starting quarterback. You got almost doubled in yards. San Diego State put up 215 yards to Washington's 403 yesterday or Saturday.
215 yards. USD against Southern Utah had 300 yards on the ground.
You can also say 2 for 13 on third down. They didn't make their first third down conversion until the second half. 1 for 4 on fourth. They were not good at all. And again, as you mentioned, with Lucky Sutton being as good as he was on the ground, they went away and never returned to the running game, which was the only thing that was working. And they never got back to it.
They got to switch with USD on some of the stuff. I was watching the USD game, right? And they went into Marty Schottenheimer ball in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And it let Southern Utah get back in the game and tie it. They won in overtime. But it's just they got to switch the San Diego State needs to run the ball more. USD needs to throw the ball more. They got a little bit of that. The thing with the Aztecs, and here's the thing, everybody wants Sean Lewis fired now, right? Who are you going to go get? Who's the coach then? If he's not the coach, who's the coach? This is a program that's not a high-profile program. You have to take chances on some of these guys. And here's the other thing, too. I think this is I think Brady Hoke's second time through. I think San Diego State hiring Brady Hoke in a lazy fashion and not going out and having a full coaching search has set this program back 10 years. I think it set this program back 10 years. When Rocky Long decided to leave, and we don't know the situation, we don't know that what happened there, but everybody knows this is weird that Rocky Long, who had great success at San Diego State, out of the blue is like, you know what? I don't want to be a head coach anymore. I'm going to go be the defensive coordinator in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And we just all believed that it was because he wanted to go back to Albuquerque. And they could have went and done a full coaching search. And instead, they just promote Brady Hoke, who was the D-line coach, who used to be the head coach before he went to Michigan. Like, oh, we had success with Brady Hoke. Let's bring him back. And instead of just going out doing a full coaching search, they decided to take the easy way out and just hire Brady Hoke. And you know what that did? That led to setting this program back 10 years. And here's the defense I have with Sean Lewis. I thought the game was poorly played. I thought it was poorly coached. I thought the Aztecs should have been a lot better than they were. And I think they know that. They laid a massive egg on Saturday against Washington State. Not a good football team, Washington State. Not a good football team. They looked really good against the Aztecs. San Diego State, with their current situation, I think we're starting to realize with Sean Lewis just how difficult of a road it's going to be to try to rebuild this program. I thought with the new stadium, I thought with them being better in recruiting, I thought with his energy to try to go fast, it was going to flip this program quickly. It's not going to be. This is a multi-year project. And San Diego State did it to themselves by hiring Brady Hoke the second time. That's what it is. Here's the thing. If you expected this program to get turned around, and I did. I thought they would get turn it around faster. I don't care who the coach is. It ain't getting flipped over in a day. Think about the Padres for a second. Think about when Peter Seidler and the current ownership group took over the Padres, just how bad the Padres organization was. Think about all the years. They took over in like 2013, 2014. Think about all the years they had to build the Padres up because of how it was left and how they inherited it. San Diego State football is the same thing. Hiring Brady Hoke the second time set San Diego State back 10 years, and Sean Lewis is going to try to get it going. I think you have to give him at least 3 years to see if he could get something going. But I don't think you're going to be able to get, and here's the other thing too, Aztec fans, everybody that says like, this guy's not the guy, go tell me who the guy is. Go tell me who it is. I'm telling you right now, I don't care who it is. It's going to be a process to get this program back up and running. And the thing that's annoying and the thing that's frustrating, I think, for Aztec fans is you look around the rest of the Mountain West or the future pack, UNLV is not a part of the future pack. UNLV is in the Mountain West. UNLV has flipped their program. They look a lot better. If UNLV can do it in a town that has a lot of stuff to do, in a town that's got the NFL, in a town that's got, a lot going on, and they could get players at UNLV to go out there and outdo UCLA, and you can't, there's a problem there. There's a problem there. So for everybody, again, that said like, well, I don't think Sean Lewis is the problem. I think the fact that the program got so bad is the problem. And you have to find a way to try to climb out of it. I think San Diego State slowly started to do it. 1 step forward in week 1, 2 steps back in week 2, or whatever week it is. San Diego State from here on out. Like the Cal game on September 20th, which is their next game. They have a bye this week, and they get ready for Cal. That could get ugly fast if San Diego State doesn't start to figure out what they're doing on offense. I'm disappointed. I thought the game on on Saturday was incredibly disappointing. Because you watch Washington State play, and I still watching them play like in that game. They're not very good. That was definitely a winnable game for the Aztecs, who I don't even know what they were doing. It didn't make any sense. So you took a good step forward, and you've taken 2 steps back. We'll see how they do against Cal at Snapdragon Stadium. Cal's good. Cal's got a quarterback that can sling the rock. Cal's going to be a challenge. And especially, too, with Washington State. Washington State was way better last year. Way better. You know that John Mateer guy at Oklahoma that just shredded Michigan with his offensive coordinator, Ben Arbuckle? Hey, remember those guys? San Diego State was 3 points away from beating those guys last year. They were way better last year. They are way worse this year, Washington State. And Aztecs improved. And they laid an egg on Saturday. That's what's the most frustrating part. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We've talked about the Aztecs. What about the rest of college football? We'll tell you how our picks went. We all participated. And get you some reactions to what happened in college football over the weekend. Plus, always, your Padres calls, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Braden Surprenant Show, live and local, each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, we got a lot to get to still, and our show's almost over. Isn't that fun, Frank? So much fun. What a blast today. It's great talking to everybody, talking Aztec football, and we haven't even talked about the NFL yet. I guess we could talk about that tomorrow if we need to. We got Monday Night Football tonight.
Yeah.
We got Padres baseball tonight. This is the best time of the year.
Let's save
Best
the NFL.
time.
We can save the NFL stuff for tomorrow because that means less work I have to do tonight then.
You would have the whip around tomorrow. You would have the overreactions tomorrow. You will have Monday Night Football recap tomorrow. We've got a lot of football tomorrow. Best time of the year. Padres, 19 games left in the regular season, trying to track down the Dodgers. They're down by 1 game in the standings. We talked about the importance of these next couple of series and how we get there. Also, we got college football. We got high school football, National Football League. I mean, this is the best time of the year for sports fans, at least for me, because my favorite 2 sports are football and baseball. So makes it a lot easier for me. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Did have a couple of people that wanted to weigh in on Aztec football, I think. Might be a little rough. We're going to get to some high school stuff here in a second as well. And, of course, back to some Padres talk. We do need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. I don't know if we could get to that this segment or not. And we have tickets to give away in the 1 o'clock hour to the Padres-Reds game on Wednesday. I do want to mention we will have Nick Martinez on from the Cincinnati Reds, former Padre, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Nick Martinez will join the show. So you can hear from Nick Martinez on Wednesday. And then if you won the tickets, you can go down to the game. It's great. All right. Back to the phones. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. It's got to Kevin in Chula Vista. Kevin, you're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, man?
Yeah, Braden, comments from you on the Aztecs are spot on. I saw the same thing. And, I've been an alumni watching this program, participating with it as season ticket holder at one point until things got crazy out there. I've been watching a long time. And, I'm looking at for progress and not continually going back. So when you talk about Sean Lewis, this team has to become competent and develop an identity. It still hasn't. When you talk about the offense, especially, I don't understand what they're trying to do. I do know this, and you may disagree with this on, what I'm going to say about the no huddle. I don't like it unless you're going into a 2-minute drill. It doesn't give these kids a chance to collect themselves. It doesn't give the wide receivers and the running backs to communicate with the quarterback in terms of real-time things that are going on out there that adjustments could be made to. They look confused. They look just like deer in the headlights out there. The Denegal kid, Frank hit it spot on. When he had a first down, I forget this was late in the third quarter or sometime in the third quarter, the first down marker is right in front of him, and he chooses to throw the ball down the field, which was a very low completion opportunity pass, and you pass that up. That's a brain problem. This is why this kid probably didn't get starting at Michigan. So, it was just a disaster. Sean Lewis needs to change and understand, in my opinion, that this is not Kent State. You're playing the big boys. They can handle what he throws at them, which isn't very much. There's so much confusion on that no huddle. It has brokered nothing in the last year plus 3 games, based upon what I can see. You may disagree. Others may disagree. If Sean's going to stay around, he needs to understand, in my opinion, that things have got to drastically change with his football team, which is not in the old days where you had 4- and 5-year kids staying in the program. So you've got confusion all over the place because, you're always changing kids anyway. Get them in the damn huddle first. Make them competent at what they can do with the basics. Run the damn offense and get some identity before you get into all this, trick gimmick stuff. The no huddle is a gimmick, and that's it. I'm done.
All right, Kevin, appreciate the phone call. Here's the thing with running a no huddle offense. When it's working, it's working. And when it's not working, well, it's not great. I saw 2 sides of that when I was at TCU. The first 2 years I was there, they were running no huddle. They were jumping on people so fast because they were a high-powered machine offense. I mean, they would jump out. My first year there was my sophomore year where they went to the Peach Bowl. They would jump out on everybody 14-0, and it'd be in the first 2 minutes of the game. They'd get the ball, start the first half, drive down and score in like a minute because they're running no huddle, force a 3 and out, get the ball back, score 14-0 first 5 minutes of the game. That's when no huddle's great. You're keeping the defense on their toes. Like I mean, they're on their heels. They're trying to figure out what's going on. Okay, it's a problem. 2 years later, when they did not have the same personnel that they had when they went to the Peach Bowl, when they beat Oregon in the Alamo Bowl, they went 6-7. That same team is still running the no huddle. They're still running the same air raid offense, which is not what San Diego State runs. They don't run as air raid. But with the no huddle, they would be 3 and out in 15 seconds. Get on the ball. Let's go. Let's move. First play, run, 1 yard gain. Second play, quick game, 2 yard gain. Now you're looking at 3rd and 7 with like no time off the clock. Incomplete pass on 3rd down. You got to punt. You take 30 seconds off the clock. Your defense has to go back on the field. They're gassed. It's not great. It's great if you're moving the ball. I think you can run no huddle and then not have to go like every 10 seconds. I mean, I think everybody tries to be Oregon sometimes, and I'm talking vintage Oregon with Chip Kelly. It doesn't have to be the case. I don't think the problem really is them huddling, but there is something to be said about the program that is San Diego State. Now, it's not an excuse because everybody in the Mountain West has the same problem, and it is we have to go live and die in the transfer portal, and we have to have a brand new roster every year, and we don't have enough NIL to keep everybody. That is the new dynamic of college athletics. So you have to keep things simple. There is no developing at a program like San Diego State because the players that you develop are going to get good enough to get a contract to go play with the real big boys in the Power Four. So it's a difficult task to try to be successful and change roster over and over and over again, but they have to keep it simple. And here's the other thing. We've talked about this before. They could have an identity of running the football. They were really successful at running the football. When they were winning Mountain West championships, the Aztecs were good at running the football. They were some of the best. But you know what it was? It was boring. And they still didn't have anybody go to games because nobody cares. It's not fun. It's not exciting. They're winning all these games. Nobody cares. Why? It's not exciting. So San Diego State is such a unique situation of they need to win, but they need to win and it needs to look sexy. Otherwise, people in San Diego don't care. Those are the things that San Diego State can control to get people to go to games. What they can't control right now is what conference they're in and the opponents they play, which is not sexy enough for San Diegans to go watch them play football. It's not. This is a transplant town. This is people are not from here that live here. There are rare occurrences of that, like myself, like a lot of diehard San Diego sports fans that listen to our show. But for the most part, most of the people that live here are not from here. And some of the people that are from here didn't go to San Diego State. They have their other things that they go and watch. I'm more locked into TCU football. That's where I went to school. Frank's locked into Penn State football. I mean, I watch San Diego State, support the local teams here. I'd like to see them do well, especially when you don't have a football team in town anymore. It'd be nice for San Diego State to take advantage of that, and they haven't. But their performance on Saturday was embarrassing. It was. It was embarrassing, and it needs to be better. Again, I would love to see San Diego State football get to a point where we can talk about college football in this town. But they are not good enough to do that. They're not good enough to do that from the on-field perspective. They're not good enough to do that in the fun-to-watch perspective, and they need to pick one of the two. Because right now, San Diego State is failing at trying to be fun to watch and good. They're failing in both. They need to be at least good at one thing. And to me, with the roster that they have with Lucky Sutton and Christian Washington and Byron Cardwell and Emmanuel that's running the ball as a quarterback, and the linemen that they have back on the offensive line, and the fact that their defense is not bad, okay, they could be the vintage mid-2010s Aztec team that wins a championship by running the football. It's not sexy, but at least be good at one thing. They're not fun to watch and losing. They're also not good and winning. I think you have to pick one or the other. You're either fun to watch and you're losing games like 59 to 57, 65-58, or you're good and you're winning games like 21-14, 21-7, but you're good. I mean, those are kind of your options. If San Diego State wants to be good, they're going to have to, I think, go into running the football. And I'm talking about for casuals. Again, diehard football people like it. San Diego State's running the ball. They're winning games. They're beating big teams. We as football fans would like that. Casual people that don't give a rat's ass about Aztec football, they're going to need something like throwing the ball all over the place and running no huddle and up-tempo stuff. I mean, that's what casuals like. So they're at a little bit of a point here. Now, in a couple of weeks, if they want to beat Cal, they're going to have to run the football, control the clock, and make it like as least amount of possessions as humanly possible. But I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I'm just so disappointed because I know they could be so much better, San Diego State. They got good coaches over there. Okay, I know a lot of fans are probably against that right now. They got good coaches over there. I don't know what was going on Saturday. It was head scratching. And the other thing Kevin brought up, like the football IQ, there's a lot of schools that have that problem. I mean, the football IQ is hard right now for a lot of kids. There's a lot of players that want to make the big play and don't want to make the for sure play. The big play and not the for sure play. And Denegal keeps trying to make big plays that he can't make instead of making the for sure play and keeping the drive alive, or making the for sure play and putting a drive together, or making the for sure play and trying to find ways to keep games close or win. They got 2 weeks off. They got a week off before their next game. It would be nice to see San Diego State come back and punch Cal in the mouth. But we're about to find out. And I know the players over there, and I know that they're not super thrilled, obviously, about the way they performed against Washington State, a team that they could beat. That is not a good Washington State football team. They are an okay football team, if that. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We've made it to 3 hours already. I can't believe it. Come over to Arizona State and see TCU on September 26th. I can't do it, man. It's on a Friday. I got high school football on a Friday. Did you enjoy the game you went to last Friday, Frank?
I enjoyed it quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Seeing Olympian just completely destroy the Eastlake Titans was very, very fun to watch. My first high school football game that I can at least remember going to since at least my freshman year at San Ysidro, which was 2008. So it's been a long, long time, and I am going to, I do plan on going to many more games this year.
Good.
Probably not all of them. I'm definitely not I'm not driving up to Santee to see them play Santana this weekend, but they got a lot of games in the local area. I do plan on being at a lot of those.
The undefeated Olympian Eagles, baby.
Yes, sir.
3-0. They hammered Eastlake.
Yes, they did.
I thought that if they were going to beat Eastlake, it was going to be by a field goal. I think I would have flipped John Maffey's 27-24 production instead of in favor of Eastlake, but in favor of Olympian.
No, they had their wide receivers were running right past Eastlake's corners. They had a pick six, like right at the start of the second half. So that game got out of hand quick. Number 11 for Eastlake. I don't know the kid's name, but number 11 for Eastlake. Very good, very quick returner. I believe he's one of their running backs as well. That kid got up to speed very, very quick. So watch for him to do something.
That should be a good game. You're not going to go to that game? You can hang out with Adam Paul. He's a Santana guy.
I'm not driving all the way up to Santee, but if you want to pay for the gas, it'll take me to get up there.
Driving all the way to
Sure.
Santee is wild to me because I don't live far from Santee. It takes like 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's a half hour, 40-minute drive from.
We're going to talk a little high school football in the 1 o'clock hour. I keep teasing that, obviously. Back to Padres talk to start the 1 o'clock hour, and who knows what else we got in store. Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show.
Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show on a Monday. Wow, this show has flown by. In the final hour, if you've been paying attention on the show, we were going to give away tickets in this hour. Weren't we, Frank?
That we was.
All right. In this hour, when we go to break, so at about 1:12, if you call in and answer a trivia question, and you're the first one to answer, it's not really a trivia question, but something we said on the show earlier today about who our guest is going to be on Wednesday. At 1:12, if you're the first one to call in and tell us who our guest is on Wednesday at 11 in the morning.
At the break, not now.
I said at 1:12. You will win tickets to Padres Reds on Wednesday. Wednesday's Padres-Reds game. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a free Dylan Cease no-hitter bobblehead. Details at Padres.com/giveaways. At 1:12, call in. Tell us who's going to be on the show at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. You will win tickets to Padres and Reds. Here's a hint. It is Padres-Reds related. So stay tuned. All right. We've teased it long enough. We'll talk about what happened in high school football on Friday night. Frank had a good experience going. I'm glad. And he texted me. He's like, you've gotten me back into watching high school football.
Got me more into watching. I told you, I have more school pride right now than I did when I was going there.
That's awesome. Love it. Where's the class ring? Class ring Friday?
Every Friday.
Nice.
Every Friday, I will wear the class ring now.
The Olympian Eagles. Fire up, Frank. It's a good win for Olympian on Friday, I have to say. All right. Let's talk about some of the games that happened on Friday night. One of the games, San Marcos beating up on Poway. I thought going into this game on Friday night, the Poway Titans, who were 2-0, getting votes in the top 10, which we have our new top 10. I'll get you that in a second. I thought Poway, if they could get through San Marcos, they'd be legit. San Marcos beat them 45-28. Knights blew a 24-0 lead, but sealed it late with a 45-yard trick play touchdown. Creep McKinley threw 2 touchdowns. Zamar Reese ran for 3, including an 80-yard touchdown run. Noah Schubach for Poway had 2 touchdown passes and 2 rushing scores. Luke Jurgensen totaled 190 yards. San Marcos getting the job done over Poway. I thought that was a good tester for Poway. San Marcos stays in my top 10 this week. Top 5 teams stayed dominant. All number 1, number 2, number 3, number 5, and number 6 all won games this weekend. Lincoln knocks off Arborview from Vegas. Arborview is now 0-3. Arborview is one of the best teams in Nevada. They're not better than Bishop Gorman. They're probably the 5th best team in Nevada right now. Lincoln's offense was explosive on Friday night. Rashad Robinson rushed for 223 yards on the ground. Lincoln able to knock off Arborview on Friday, 50-31. Jordan Roa completed 10 of 11 for 158 and 3 touchdowns for Lincoln. Courtney Miller-Thompson had 8 catches for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clarence Tucker intercepted 2 passes, and Cam Purnell picked off 1 for the Lincoln Hornets. They beat Arborview 50-31. Cathedral beat Chandler 24-23. Brady Palmer had a day on the ground. Brady Palmer's a good quarterback in high school football. He's committed to Cal. He rushed for 165 yards. And he passed for 123 as the Dons improved to 3-0. Honor Falave Johnson. If you have not gone out and watched Cathedral Catholic play football, you should, because I'm a coach of their team. So you get to see me, which is also great. But you should go strictly to watch Honor. I have not seen a kid as special as Honor Falave, I don't think ever in my life, in high school football. Now, I was very young when Reggie Bush played at Helix. I did get to see P.T. Gates play at Marion Catholic.
Honor Falave is like watching P.T. Gates, as I've been told by coaches who have seen P.T. Gates and saw him play. This guy, when he gets the ball, he had one touchdown run, I think it was 80 yards on Friday night, where he looked like he was down. I mean, he looked like he was bottled up by Chandler. They had 4 guys on him, and they just stopped thinking he was going to stop, and he ripped off a 70-yard touchdown run. He had the touchdown against Mater Dei Catholic in week 1 where he hit 22 miles an hour at his top speed, which is getting tracked by some vests that they wear underneath. Honor Falave, who is a cornerback listed as a safety as a potential recruit, has 38 offers. He's a 5-star athlete. He's a junior. I'm telling you right now, you got to go watch this kid play football. I am amazed every time I watch him play. I'm amazed. Honor had 157 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, including it was a 72-yard go-ahead score. Chandler scored late in the fourth quarter, but mishandled the PAT, prevented Chandler from winning the game. Cathedral Catholic got some good things done on special teams. They won 24-23 over the 4th best team in the state of Arizona. Mission Hills continues to shine in the North County. Troy Hune completed 17 of 21 for 237, 4 touchdowns, ran for 1 for Mission Hills. Mission Hills means business in the North County. They beat Oceanside 42-6. Oceanside off to a really tough start, a very promising year going into the season for Oceanside. Thought things were going to turn around a little bit. They played Granite Hills to start the year, who's in the top 10. They played Carlsbad last week, didn't do well against Carlsbad, and then had Mission Hills. I mean, Oceanside's played a really tough 3 games to get the season started, and it's why they're probably 0-3. 3 of the touchdown throws by Troy Hune went to Josh Gonzalez for 17, 23, and 46 yards. He also had a rushing touchdown. Jacoby Williams got a touchdown pass. Andrew Romer had 2 interceptions, and Damari Stevens had 1. Oceanside is now 0-3. Mission Hills improves to 3-0. They were number 3 in the county going into last week. Granite Hills went to Arizona to play Perry. They played them on Saturday night. They beat them 27-21. Perry's the 20th best team in the state of Arizona. That's a great win for Granite Hills, representing San Diego on the road. They got the job done. Great to see that. La Costa Canyon continues to be another power in the North County. They hammered Del Norte 56-13. They're now 3-0 in the season. They fell behind 7-0. Del Norte jumped on them early, but then scored the next 7 touchdowns, one on a 33-yard interception return by Jake Hopper. Kobe Herman, who's one of my favorite players to watch in high school football. This kid's a stud. Kobe Herman had 9 carries for 116 yards with touchdown runs of 42 and 3 yards. He also had a 14-yard touchdown reception. Quinn Roth, who I think is one of the best quarterbacks in San Diego. I don't think that's really that hard of I think it's Troy Hune, and then I think it's Quinn Roth, and then it's probably Cash Herrera. But, I don't get to watch Bishops as much. Quinn Roth is as good of a quarterback as you'll see in San Diego. He completed 14 of 17 for 163 at a touchdown strike to Herman, Jackson McGorry, and Blake Larson. Maddox Romans rushed 18 times for 89 yards and a touchdown for Del Norte. LCC won 56-13. Del Norte now drops to 1-2 on the season. Carlsbad continues to do well as well in North County. You got a 3-headed monster right now in the North County. And I know they rearranged the Avocado League, so I don't know if they're all in the same league or not. Somebody in the North County could probably tell me, or Adam Paul could tell me if Carlsbad and LCC and Mission Hills are all in the same Avocado League this year. I think they are, but I'm not. I don't know. Carlsbad beat El Camino 30-13. They ran just 27 offensive plays. Eli McNeil completed 8 of 12 for 155 and a touchdown. Ethan Murohov had 3 catches for 74 yards and a touchdown. Darian Webb was a good running back for Carlsbad, rushed 5 times for 70 yards and a score. Sky Schaefer returned to fumble, returned to fumble 50 yards for a touchdown. Dylan Sims had a pick. Gavin Wasserman threw for 129 yards and a touchdown to Omega Cruz for El Camino. Blake Sega had a rushing touchdown. Anthony Sega had 7 tackles. I feel like the El Camino has had a Sega on their team every year for the last 15 years. Blake Sega had a touchdown. El Camino drops to 1-2 on the season. Carlsbad improves to 3-0. Carlsbad showing that they are a little bit more legit and a contender for the Open Division with the big win over El Camino. Mount Miguel goes to L.A. They beat Loyola of Los Angeles. They go up and beat the Loyola Cubs. Good bounce back win for Mount Miguel after they got smoked by LCC. Jeremiah Loper threw 250 yards. Threw for 250 yards, and Jaden Hunter rushed for 100 yards while scoring twice for Mount Miguel. Zane Rodier added a rushing touchdown. Loyola now drops to 1-2 on the year. Mount Miguel is now 2-1. I thought the game of the week was RB Torrey. RB and Torrey ended up being, to me, the game of the week. Gage Weddle is a one-man wrecking crew for RB. For anybody that doesn't follow high school football or listens to our show that gives you a high school football report, Gage Weddle is, in fact, the son of Eric Weddle. Eric Weddle is the coach at Rancho Bernardo. Gage Weddle's only a sophomore. Gage Weddle, like I said, is a one-man wrecking crew, both on offense and on defense. The kid can run all over the place. He plays quarterback. He also plays safety, just like his dad. The guy looks like a mini Eric when I see him. He's like a mini Eric Weddle. He's doing his interview with the PPR. I'm like, that guy, it looks just like Eric. Got a little mustache and everything, too. It's great. He's growing out the Weddle's beard, it looks like. Starting off slow with a little bit of a mustache. He's got the Snoopy's cousin mustache, but you know what? It's a work in progress. Gage threw 174 yards and a touchdown. Had a 17-yard touchdown pass to Hugo Gonzalez. Rushed for 50 yards and a touchdown for Rancho Bernardo. Gavin Valencia had 12 tackles. Logan Miller rushed for Torrey Pines for a touchdown. Reese Goldberger had 13 tackles and forced a fumble. Clark Drucker had 2 field goals, one from 49 yards. RB beats Torrey 17-13. I think that's a big win for Rancho Bernardo early on in the season. They've improved to 3-0. I don't think Rancho Bernardo is going to make the Open this year. I almost guarantee you that Rancho Bernardo will make the Open Division playoffs next year when Gage is a junior. I almost guarantee it. Santa Fe Christian all over Westview, 41-0. Ramona was able to win over the weekend as well. Valley Center over Fallbrook, 49-41. That was a shootout. San Pasquale over RBV. San Diego High blanked Otay. Point Loma over Scripps Ranch. Don't look out. Point Loma now 3-0 to start the season. La Jolla bounces back after a loss to Torrey Pines. They beat La Jolla Country Day 31-10. And other important scores for you. Mira Mesa over West Hills 10-7. And Frank Marchese's Olympian Eagles are now 3-0. For all of the scores and everything you want to see, go to maxpreps.com. They will have all the rankings for you as well. As for the top 10, as voted on by the media here in San Diego, top 10 for high school football week 2. Lincoln, number 1 in the county, 3-0. They got 24 first-place votes, followed by Cathedral, who now has 6 first-place votes, also 3-0. Mission Hills, Granite Hills, LCC, Carlsbad round up the top 6. All of those teams are 3-0. San Marcos and Mount Miguel coming at 7 and 8 at 2-1. RB now ranked in the top 10 at number 9, above their arch rival Poway, who comes in at number 10 this week. Santa Fe Christian, El Camino, Imperial, Bishops, Modern Day Catholic, Torrey Pines, Point Loma, Central, Helix, and Olympian have all received votes in the top 10 for high school football. That is what happened on Friday for high school football. Now is your chance. Call in. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. If you call in and tell me who our guest is at 11 o'clock on Wednesday, and you're the first one to do it, you will win a pair of tickets to Wednesday's Padres Reds game. First 40,000 in attendance will receive a free Dylan Cease no-hitter bobblehead. Details at padres.com/giveaways. First one to call in and tell me who our guest is at 11 o'clock on Wednesday will win today's ticket giveaway. We are doing that as we go to break. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. When we come back, we'll dive back into Padres baseball. Padres start a 3-game series with the Reds. We'll talk about it on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's number 1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, 119 on a Monday. Gosh, show's flown by. Sports Talk on 97 through the Fan is presented by Paramount Plus. Sylvester Stallone is back in the original hit series, Tulsa King. This season, Dwight faces his most dangerous adversaries yet, forcing him to fight for everything he's built and to protect his empire. Stream the new season of Tulsa King on Sunday, September 21st, exclusively on Paramount Plus. You ever watch Tulsa King, Frank?
I've probably seen bits and pieces of it on like TikTok and Instagram, but I haven't
they like
sat down and watched it.
All those like content harvesting account. I hate those accounts, dude. Taking credit for people's getting paid for stealing people's stuff. I watched the first season of it. I started to watch the second season of it. It's good. It's super cheesy though. Like there's a lot of cheese to it. They lost me when Jelly Roll made an appearance. You're like, oh, hey, it's Jelly Roll. Like Sylvester Stallone's trying to talk about Jelly Roll and stuff. But the premise of Tulsa King is New York, New Jersey, Italian gangster goes to Tulsa to start basically a mob.
Gotcha.
In Tulsa. And he's put together this like crew of misfits in the middle of Oklahoma. So, anyway. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Who won the tickets?
That would have been Will in Oceanside.
All right. Congrats to Will for winning the tickets, for correctly saying that Nick Martinez will join the show on Wednesday at 11 in the morning. I'm looking forward to that. I love Nick Martinez.
Yeah, absolutely. We tried to get him on when the Padres were in Cincinnati, but he was starting.
He was too busy almost throwing a no-hitter
he was
the Padres.
Yeah, exactly. So we were going to try to get him on here, and we did. Thank you very much.
It's great. Can't wait to talk to Nick. Nicky Tight Pants. That's going to be awesome. Anyway, big shout out to Will for winning the tickets. Anyway, let's talk about what happened at Petco Park this weekend. We talked a lot of Padres baseball in the first 2 hours of the show. The last hour, we've been a little bit more football based, but we want to get back to baseball talk. And more specifically, we're going to get to Padres stuff in a second. But we had two, right? Two Savannah Banana games?
Yes.
In San Diego over the weekend?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday.
I know a lot of people that went to those. They had a blast for Banana Ball. I know the people talking about it. They couldn't, I forgot. What were they calling it? I think they said like Banana Mania. I don't know. So they couldn't even tell you what they didn't know exactly what Banana Ball was or what the Savannah Bananas were. I saw people on Instagram going like, can someone please explain to me what this banana team is doing at Petco Park? Like they don't know, like they're not in the bit. But the games were on television too.
Yeah, True TV and HBO Max. They're also streamed on YouTube in full. So you can go back and watch, I believe it was Saturday's game, at the very least on the Savannah Bananas YouTube channel.
So the Bananas were in town. I did not catch any of it, but I did see some of the highlights of the Bananas. And this is what they do when they go on the road. So they're basically, the best way I can describe the Bananas is they're like the Globetrotters for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the globe, like for basketball, you can like set people up for stunts. Like in baseball, it's hard. You can't just get like even if you get a perfect pitch to do something, you still have to hit the ball. It's hard to perfectly hit something to do a backflip catch. It makes it honestly more impressive than the Globetrotters.
And again, the Globetrotters win every game.
Mm-hmm.
There are nights where the Bananas lose. The games are not rigged. The games are not scripted. The stuff that they do during the games is, but both teams are genuinely trying to win the game. And there are times where the Bananas just flat out don't win.
Yeah, you can't, it's hard to do. Like, how do you script a baseball game? Like, you can't. I'm going to need you to hit the shortstop. I missed. Like, it's at third now. You can't script it, which makes it even more fun. So the Bananas, the Savannah Bananas are a college summer team.
Yeah.
That's what they started as. And then they started this Banana Ball with guys that used to play in college or used to play in the pros. And, they're making like $30,000 to $45,000 a year playing for the Bananas, but then they make all their money on like Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah,
and
like
all
I
of
remember,
those things.
I remember the only player from the Bananas that I genuinely know is Jackson Olsen. And I was watching his like Instagram and TikTok stuff before he became a Banana.
Yeah. So they're like former baseball players now turned actors. They do choreography for the deal. One of my friends knows somebody that was umpiring this weekend. Local umpire. I think they grabbed some local guys, and they had to get there early to choreograph certain dances and some other things too. So it's definitely a fun show. I think it's great for kids. I think a lot of people that are diehard baseball fans probably don't like it and think it's a tired act. I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I think you have to understand what you're getting into when you go watch the Bananas play and their version of Banana Ball. Like, they have all these different rules and stuff, and the scoring's weird, and they got a timer, and like there's a lot of moving parts, but it's for family entertainment, and they're doing a great job, like selling out stadiums. And again, they used to just be in Savannah. They were literally just doing it every single night in the summertime in Savannah, and it was a way for them to make some money when, the college team, because this college summer team, that is what they were, was out of town. They'd have regular Savannah Bananas games, and then they'd have Banana Ball nights, and they've turned it into a traveling, I don't want to say circus because that seems derogatory, but they're like the Globetrotters now, and they sell out stadiums. And my favorite part is like when they go to different towns, they bring legends from that town in to play for the Bananas. So for the people that watched on Friday, they got to see Heath Bell pitch for the Bananas. And when they went on Saturday, they got to see Trevor Hoffman come out of the bullpen and close down the game for the Bananas at his age. So it's kind of fun. I think both of those guys had fun. Being able to play again and play. I mean, it's like full stadium too. It's not like a minor league baseball kind of trick. So I didn't go. I had, it's tough with the football season, but one of these days I'd like to go. I know it's hard to get tickets. I mean, there's a lot of people that are asking for tickets all weekend long.
Because you can't buy tickets. You have to enter a raffle. They raffle the tickets, and then if you get picked from the raffle, then you have the option to buy the tickets or not. And if you don't, then they go back into the pile. They pick the next person in the raffle. So there's no guarantee that even if you're willing to pay an exorbitant amount for tickets, there's no guarantee that you're even going to have access to them because you go into a lottery.
Yes. A lot of people are trying to like get them off the scalp and stuff like that, but it looked like a fun time. So, and if anybody that wanted to talk about their experience, give us a call, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Padres, get ready for a series against the Reds tonight. This is an important series for both the Padres and the Reds, but probably a little bit more important for the Cincinnati Reds. Reds are 4 games now out of a playoff spot. They're trailing the Mets, who play the Phillies this week. We'll tell you everything that needs to happen this week. We'll kind of recap what we talked about in the first hour. Padres have 19 games left. They have 6 series left. What is it going to take to win the division? What is it going to take to run down the Cubs? Is it better to be the 4 seed than the 3 seed? It might be. We'll lay all of that out for you and might take a look at every playoff team's biggest issue in Major League Baseball. Padres, you might have an easy guess on what that might be. We'll explain when we come back to finish up the show. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Summer Sports Station, 97 through the Fan. We didn't make it to our midday sports standoff today, but we do have a new prize for that. If you are able to take me down in some sports trivia, you will be able to qualify for a chance to win our grand prize, a trip to see the Eagles at the Sphere in Las Vegas. Wow, that's kind of sick. Including 2 tickets to the show on January 30th, 2-night stay at the Venetian Resort in Las Vegas, VIP package, and a $100 gas card. Eagles have added 2026 shows to the band's residency at the Sphere in Las Vegas on Friday, January 23rd, Saturday, January 24th, Friday, January 30th, and Saturday, January 31st. The residency now features a total of 48 shows from Friday, September 20th through Saturday, January 31st, 2026. Tickets at Ticketmaster.com. That's a fun prize.
Yeah, not too bad. We'll be sure to get to it tomorrow.
Yes.
Among all the other things we forgot to get to today, that we'll get to
All
tomorrow.
NFL talk did not happen today. All college football talk did not happen today. We talked about the Aztecs a little bit. Talked a lot of Padres baseball. Talked about Tulsa King, apparently. Go Aztecs. Was on a lunch break. When talking about Tulsa King, I wondered why Braden wasn't in the preview for Landman Season 2 on TCU track. Bad casting. I agree. I got the emails for it. My TCU email still spits out emails to my regular email now because I'm forwarding them to myself, and I got the emails about being an extra at TCU for Landman. I can't wait for Landman Season 2. I thought Season 1 was great. There's more, obviously. Scenes at TCU makes it even better. Frank, did you see the Mets schedule with the PTSD?
Yes, I did. No kidding.
Man. Nothing gets by Frank when it comes to the Mets. Juan in the YouTube chat. He's on it. He is on it with his natural casing.
For those of you who don't get it, the Mets' next 3 opponents are the Phillies,
P,
Texas Rangers,
T,
and San Diego Padres.
ST.
So yeah, so the cap logos for the next 3 opponents for the Mets is what they have given their fan base. PTSD
for the month of September.
No, just period.
With a 4-game lead in the wild card.
Yep.
Don't let the Reds back in it.
Well, that's on you now. Like, that's on the Padres now.
All right. Is Jed still there?
Jed is still here.
All
yes.
right. Jed went to the Savannah Bananas over the weekend. How was it, Jed?
What's up, boys? Honestly, it was amazing, and the best way I could describe it is I had such a good time, unlimited entertainment, but I really have no idea. The reason I say that is because there's so much fan entertainment going on in the stands and all that while the game's going on that it kind of felt like the baseball game was the least of the whole party. Like at one point, like, you know how Petco Park after the 8th inning or middle of the 8th inning, we all sing that Blink-182 song.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did that in the Savannah Banana game, but they did it while the game was going on. It was just very the game doesn't stop for anything. And so don't get me wrong, I had a great time, but I have no idea kind of what I experienced.
Jed, appreciate the phone call, man. I feel like the Savannah Bananas is perfect for like bringing like little kids to.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, unless you want to get an extra out as a fan, diving over kids with a foul ball. That's
yeah. You could be like the Phillies fan in Miami.
You could do that. You could be.
God,
like
what a
psycho.
nasty blank on that. I mean, she was mean.
A psychopath.
Phillies fan. Unbelievable.
Well,
didn't they do a spoof of her at the Savannah Bananas game in San Diego?
They did, but also par on Philadelphia Phillies fans for just being the scum of the earth.
Exactly. I mean, if you saw the local Karen like that, and you had to guess what jersey she was wearing, it would be a Phillies jersey, would it not?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a
par for the
foul
course
on
for
her.
a Phillies fan.
She gets a foul.
He draws the foul.
I wonder how she's feeling right now, by the way. Does bullying work? Because she is all over social media.
You know what that means, right?
No, it's not. She's not in the YouTube chat.
No, we have 3 categories of fouls. We have our fouls, the YouTube chat fouls, and then we have the outside the show fouls.
Okay.
You gave 4 to the Sunday League.
To the Sunday Softball League. That's a
And
local
there's
outside
your-
show, fan.
And there's your fifth foul.
No, you don't get the Eric Hosmer thing
Oh,
unless
come
it's the
on.
chat. No, you're
Stop
trying too
it.
hard. You're trying too hard.
It's the fifth
You're
out of
forcing
show
it.
foul.
You're forcing it.
No, go Aztecs. No.
Forcing it.
No NBA 6 fouls. No NBA 6 fouls. We discussed that on air. It's 5. It's 5 fouls. It's college.
Yeah, we
It's
don't have
5
an NBA
fouls.
team. We go with 5 fouls. But she's her own category. No, I'm not letting you get
Fine.
away with it that easy. Because you were saying it at the beginning of the show. You were like just letting them rip.
Yeah, on the things that you were telling me were fouls.
You said we're gonna get the higher cost. No. She's her own category.
I said we were going to get it just based off of your Sunday league, and you told me the 4 fouls to give for the Sunday league.
These are like
didn't get it.
like team fouls here.
For God's sake.
We got chat team fouls. We got the Sunday league fouls, and Philadelphia Karen are not. They're like maybe they're on the same team as outside, but like Karen has 1 foul. Old Pro Softball's got 4 fouls. The chat, I don't know how many fouls they have today.
Chat has none. Chat's been decent today.
Chat's been fine. You and I don't have any fouls. Maybe I have 1. I can't remember.
No, we've been good.
It has to be the individual. The Philly Karen gets her own.
No, it's the no.
True. Yep. Paul's onto it.
We're adding an A and just dropping the F. There we go.
The A is, you just put an A at the end of Frank.
Yeah, the A is silent.
But the A is silent.
The second A in Frank is silent.
The first A in Frank, it could be A Frank. We just go Frank. You get a foul for trying to push the Eric Hosmer cameo.
Oh, jog on.
He draws the foul.
I'm starting to get the feeling that you don't like Eric Hosmer.
I love Eric Hosmer.
I'm starting to get the feeling you don't.
I love Eric Hosmer. I think Eric Hosmer is great. I don't know why he's not on the show yet.
I'm starting to get the feeling that you don't.
Get his number. Let's get him on the show.
I'm starting to get the feeling that you don't think the station's going to pay $50 for Eric Hosmer.
I know for a fact the station's not paying for it. Maybe some of us want to save you $50. I've already seen 1 Eric Hosmer cameo. I was dying laughing.
Which is why we should do it.
We need a Nick Martinez cameo. Coming on the show at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. Can't wait. All right. Let's talk about, what did we want to get into here?
Padres against the Reds coming.
Padres Reds this weekend. Oh, and what? No, this week. They're on during the week.
Oh, week. Yeah, you're right.
Pal. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, John.
Okay. TCU. I picked the wrong day to wear. Oh no, I'm not. I wore it to work out today, so we're good. We got a horn frog in the mound tonight. Nick Lodolo, 8-7 with a 3.22 ERA, going against Yu Darvish, 3-5 with a 5.75 ERA. Game's at 6:40 tonight. Tomorrow's game, Michael King is pitching for the Padres.
Expected to pitch. It's not official.
Reportedly, he's expected to start, according to Kevin Acee. That's a 6:40 start tomorrow. He's going against Zach Littell, who's 9-8 with a 3.81 ERA. And then Andrew Abbott, who is one of their best starting pitchers, is going against Nick Pivetta on Wednesday. That should be a fun game. So that's how that lays out. Now, in terms of like the Padres, and I want to get back to this playoff talk for a second. And we discussed this. And I think we're in agreement here. And people that are just tuning in might think we're crazy. I think it's better for the Padres, postseason-wise, to not win the division and instead get a 4 or 5 seed. Is that crazy?
It will sound crazy.
It sounds crazy right now.
But if your overall goal is the ring, no, it's not crazy.
Isn't that everybody's overall goal?
Well, there you go.
The ring? Don't you want the big cake, right?
Yeah.
Is that what Fernando said in 2020, the big cake? We want the big cake.
Not the Ito one.
No.
Not the Ito baby one.
Not the little wild card of the division one.
Big cake.
You want the big cake. So in order to get the big cake, this might be the best path to said big cake. Now, hey, things have changed a little bit in Philly, though. Philadelphia is starting to fall apart right now with injuries. What did you say before the Mets series? Who is now on the injured list?
Trey Turner and Alec Boehm are both on the IL.
Trey Turner and Alec Boehm are both on the IL now. I would imagine they're going to be back for the postseason. Maybe. I don't know what the extent of the injuries are, but they're both on the injured list. Adds to it with Philadelphia. Maybe all of a sudden the Padres have enough what it takes to catch Philly if they start to fall apart. I don't think that to be the case, but we'll see because the Mets have Philadelphia this week. The Mets have owned Philly. You going to talk smack to Mike Crump for that?
No.
You keep it to yourself?
No, he knows.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows better. So that changes things a little bit. I think those guys will be back for the postseason. I don't know their injury report. Did they say what they're out with? They're both in the 10-day or 15, whatever it is.
Let me take a quick little look here.
But to go back to my explanation on why it's more important for the Padres to get a 4 or 5 seed than win the division is the path. Now, fans can do this. As a player, you know you have to beat good teams anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I feel like I have to put the context on that because, like, the next show, like, Win and Chris will just be like, it doesn't matter, just make the playoffs. Yeah, but it's not fun to just, like, not talk about it. Like, this is fun things to talk about. And when you're a fan, you can talk about this because there's no impact on the dugout or the clubhouse. Let me ask you fans this path. Which would you rather have? Would you rather play the Mets at home for a best of 3 and then go to Philadelphia for a divisional series best of 5 and then whatever, you got the NLCS? Or would you rather host the Cubs best of 3 and then go to Milwaukee for a best of 5 before you play in the championship series? What path do you like better? Would you rather play a divisional series against Philly, or would you rather play a divisional series against Milwaukee? Chicago, Milwaukee, Mets, Philly. That's really your path right now. Here's the other thing. The path that you're currently on, because you would have to catch the Cubs in order to make them come here instead of you going there. As things stand right now, your path is at Chicago for best of 3, which is scary. At Chicago for best of 3. And then to Milwaukee for a best of 5. That is your current path for the postseason. So, which path do you like better? I'm asking. Any fans out there? And I'll tell you whether or not you want to win the division. I think some fans are smart enough to know the situations anyway, and they know that what one of them is. But in order to go through Milwaukee instead of Philly, you want the 4 or 5 seed. You don't want the 3 or the 6. Definitely won't want the 6. Six sucks because then you got to play LA for a best of 3, and then you got to go to Philadelphia. And that's the worst case scenario. And you're 2 games above worst case scenario right now. But would you rather go to Chicago and then go to Milwaukee, or I'll just say it this way, host the Mets and then go to Philly? I just still don't think that you could probably, it's going to be tough to pass Chicago. It's possible. They're 3 games behind the Cubs. It's possible with 19 games left, but it would be better. To me, the best case scenario is getting the 4 seed, hosting Chicago, then going to Milwaukee. I personally would rather do that. Now, that in line's not winning the division. I think in an ideal world, if the pipe dream, here's the pipe dream. You win the division and you catch Philadelphia and you get the 2 seed. That is the pipe dream. Because then you get a bye, and then you get a best of 5 where you're the home team. And by getting the 2 seed, you would play the 4 or the 5, but right now they'd probably be LA in the 4 or the 5 matchup. LA versus Chicago. Then you would host LA or Chicago, and then you would deal with Philadelphia or Milwaukee on the other side of the bracket. The one thing that is important to remember unless the Padres get the 2 seed or the Dodgers get the 2 seed, which I don't think is going to happen. Philly has a 5-game lead on LA, if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to look again. Hang on, give me a second. I know they have a 5-game lead on the Padres, I think. Philly's got a 4-game lead on the Dodgers. Just wanted to make sure. I don't think LA or the Padres are catching Philly, even with the new injury news updates from Philadelphia. I don't think it's going to happen. Not with the way LA's been playing, not with what Philly has to do to make it open up for an opportunity to pass them, not the way the Padres have been playing. I don't see it really happening. So to me, again, it seems like the wild card 4 seed is the best path to success through the playoffs. That doesn't involve, obviously, winning the division. I think winning the division at this point is for bragging rights over Los Angeles. I think at this point it's for a feather in the cap. I think at this point it's for, being able to see the Western Metal Supply Company building turn into Western Division champs. I think for like all of that is what you're playing for a division. But in terms of best path through the playoffs, knowing that you're not going to get a first round bye in the National League playoffs by winning the division because you're not going to catch Philadelphia because they're 5 games in front of you, to me, being the 4 seed is the best possible situation for the Padres moving forward. I went through like the schedules and everything like that, and here are the important games tonight, as laid out by Frank from earlier in the show. You got Washington and Chicago. This is over the weekend. Washington taking 2 out of 3 from Chicago was doing the Lord's work to make that lead even smaller. Reds beating the Mets helped you a little bit. You gained a game on the Mets, and you knew Cincinnati was going to make up too much ground. Plus, they couldn't make up any ground when you do the exact same thing. And Baltimore taking 2 out of 3 from LA was great. Tonight and this week, the Mets are in Philly, which is great for the Padres. That's something positive is going to happen there. The Cubs are in Atlanta. You really need Jerks and Profar to help you out down there in Atlanta against the Cubs. And they got Imanaga tonight against Bryce Elder. That will be at 4:15. And then Rockies-Dodgers. So now after playing the Rockies for 3 games, and you got to play them again for 4 games later this week, you better hope that Colorado can rough up the Dodgers a little bit. That would be nice. It's not a guarantee. Dolander's going for the Rockies. He grew up in Southern California. Dodgers are TBD. Still. They're still TBD. Those are the important games tonight. Arizona and San Francisco is interesting. I wouldn't say it's important, but it's interesting that both of those teams are still hanging around. Arizona's 500. Giants are a game above 500. Nabil Krismat's on the mound tonight for the Arizona Diamondbacks against Logan Webb. That is intriguing, but it's not serious yet. I don't think you could take them serious yet. But they're right there. If you look at the National League West, they're right there battling for another spot in the playoffs. What a resurgence from 2 teams that sold at the deadline. Bet you the Diamondbacks wish they had some of those pieces right about now. So that's how it lays out. Again, as I mentioned before, I mentioned earlier on the show, if the Padres want to overtake the Cubs, they're going to have to outdo them for 3 series. There's 6 series left. So that means the Padres have to win their next 6 series, and the Cubs have to drop 3 of them. And that will get them tied. That will not give you necessarily the deal. And it's the second tiebreaker because the Padres and the Cubs had tied the season. The next tiebreaker comes to divisional record. So we'll have that for you tomorrow. But winning division games is important for the Padres down the stretch too, because they have to have a better record against the NL West than the Cubs have against the NL Central. That's the next level on the tie-breaking scenario. So if you want to catch the Cubs, you got to go win your next 6 series, and the Cubs have to lose 3 of those series. If you want to catch the Dodgers, because they won the tiebreaker, you need the Dodgers to lose 2 more series if you win the next 6 series. That's as basic as I can put it. That is what you're watching for when you're watching these next 19 games. View it in series, not individual games, because you're going to go nuts. Padres will try to start to win a series against the Reds. Coming up at 6:40, Ecowater SoCal Padres pregame show with Sam Levitt at 5:40. Gwen and Chris are coming up next. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973 if you want to call into their show. We're done for the day. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow, hopefully after a Padres win. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Spin the Braden Surprenant Show.